People, I got 5 or 6 tables ahead of you. So if you want to wait a minute, that's fine, but it's going to be a second. So it was fun, obviously. And hopefully, if we have another one like that, we'll let you know.
Yeah, Monday night is the next match, of course, and to be determined on if we're going to have a party. I guess we got to figure that out pretty quick.
Yeah, we'll let you know. Don't you worry about that. And we'll talk more about their matchup with Belgium coming up in just a few. But let's talk about the thing that people are talking about right now, which is, of course, this position they find themselves in, which is, hooray! Congratulations. They have managed to make the round of 16, or an important accomplishment for the U.S. men's national team. I don't think it can be understated that somehow the current head coach of the U.S. men's team now has more wins than any other U.S. men's national team coach ever. This is only their second ever win in the knockout stage. So for all the women's teams, you remember winning the World Cup?
Men's soccer.
Men's soccer's awful. This is an accomplishment. They have already won in my eyes. But the bigger problem was in that game, after they get a couple goals, have a couple called back with VAR, fun match, then they lose their best or second best player, depending on how you look at it.
But they only had one goal when they lost him.
Yeah.
So it was 1-0. Then the red card happens, and we're
then they
stressed
scored
out.
10 on 11.
Yes.
Which is embarrassing for you, by the way, Bosnia. How are you going to let someone score on you when you got an extra man? But losing Balogun, I mean, it obviously cannot be understated. It's a massive deal. And a weak-ass call? Like, I know we're homers in this scenario, and we don't watch soccer with the same veracity that guys like Speck or Rob do. But even they were offended, and soccer commentators were offended. What about that constitutes a red card and kicking out one of the U.S. best players before, arguably, this could be argued that it's the U.S. men's national team's single biggest match ever coming up on Monday. Like they're ever
it's
in
on
their
home
entire
soil.
program.
Yeah, because it's on home soil as well. And we will talk about Belgium. Yeah, that moment sucked, and we were all nervous at the time once we saw they were going to review it. And by now you probably have seen the explanation that was at least given, which was that VAR, they did not follow proper protocol. Now, ultimately, yes, the ref on the field is who gave the red card, and it is his decision to give a red card or not. But VAR made their recommendation to the referee based on slow-mo replay and still replays, which is not correct. That's not what they're supposed to do. And that is only supposed to be used for point of contact purposes. So VAR, the officials there, basically used something they're not supposed to use to then give a recommendation to the referee. And then the referee made a decision, whether it was all based on that or his own whatever he saw, whatever it may be. He ends up sending off Balogun with the red card. And yeah, it has massive impact for the rest of the World Cup. I mean, it's a devastating result for the U.S. It's not impossible for them to win. Heck, they're a favorite still against Belgium somehow. Yep. We were discussing that off air.
That confuses me. Slight favorite.
But yeah, look, as you said, I do not claim to be a soccer expert at all. We'll get Drew's opinion on this in a second. He watches more soccer than we do. My issue was that it sounds like protocol wasn't followed. So it's no different to me than if we're talking about an NFL game where we all are far more knowledgeable. An NFL game and we found out that the officials didn't follow protocol, we would all be going nuts. And so it sounds like that happened here, at least if it was from upstairs. We would normally in NFL, we'd say, yeah, New York screwed that one up. Yeah. Well, it sounds like the VAR room screwed this one up that then led to a poor recommendation perhaps for the official. And, as far as the still shots, people were comparing that exact play to other plays in the World Cup, and it appears that other plays in the similar vein have happened, and they did not result in a red card. I would say that's just sports. That stuff happens in the NFL, too. But that means
we talk about it all the time.
Could be just as pissed off about it, though.
It feels a lot like, and I guess this is part of the issue, someone comped it yesterday. I wish I could remember the name, but I can't. They comped it to, like, when Jamal Charles missed the playoffs games for the Chiefs. It's like you finally get an important game, and then you don't have your best player. It's like, it's just terrible luck. You get in your most important match, and now you don't have your most important player. Or like when the Broncos lost Bo Nix at the end of the divisional round last year. You get to the AFC title game, but now you don't have your quarterback? Damn. All that work, all that effort. And it's not to say they still can't win the match on Monday against Belgium, but it got a whole hell of a lot harder.
Well, Pulisic has to be... he has to be special.
He does. Yeah. And so that part of it really becomes a challenge. And VAR clearly, based on all the soccer analysts, messed up a little bit. They viewed it in slow motion. That's not the protocol. So because part of me is like, how does that even happen, by the way?
Well, because it happens in the NFL, because New York screws it up at times, and Major League Baseball screws it up.
Protocol.
I mean, because the mistakes happen, and it's just, we're talking about it because it's the World Cup, and it's more foreign to us. But as far as protocol not being followed or mistakes, this is the kind of crap that people get upset about in the NFL all the time.
We
or
do
a blown
complain about
call.
officiating. It's terrible.
The difference, though, to your point, is this results in somebody being ineligible to play in the next match. So a mistake, a missed PI call in an NFL game, it doesn't mean that somebody's not available the next week. If roughing the passer penalty, they're not suspending a player the next week. It has to be such a ridiculous thing to get suspended in the NFL for another game. Like there was not even the ref on the field also didn't call a yellow card. Didn't show a yellow card to start. To me, it was a mistake. Now, this was how it sounded during the broadcast on Fox, and you also hear Stu Holden's reaction on replay.
After review, the number 20 United States committee says foul.
Yeah, it's going to be a red card.
The final decision is red card.
Wow. When you see the still image like this, it's easy to say that's a red card. And I could see why this will potentially be given. But this is why I like seeing them in real time like this. Look, he doesn't even see Muharemovic coming. He's coming on the outside of him, and he jumps in front. It's a yellow card, absolutely. I don't see that as a red.
And that's from Stu Holden, someone that obviously has watched thousands of matches and
I thought it was a yellow because Flo wasn't even looking at the guy behind. It wasn't intentional. He wasn't looking at the player. The same way that I don't think Messi was looking to step on the back of the guy's calf, and that one wasn't called the
Algeria game.
I don't think it was a red. I thought it was a yellow because it was a foul. I mean, you missed the ball, you stepped on the guy's calf. It's a yellow card. And it wasn't intentional. He wasn't even looking at the player. And now if he was looking at the player's calf as he did it, then yeah, it's a straight red. But I thought it was a yellow. I was really surprised. I think Balogun was a little surprised, but I mean, yeah, they're going to have to deal with it. It is what it is now. So I mean, it's part of it. I mean, it's obviously tough, but Christian Pulisic is the engine that makes that room run. I know that Balogun is the one scoring the goals, but Christian Pulisic has been the best player on the pitch, hands down, bar none, for the U.S. in all of these matches. So to think that they can't bring Gio Reyna in and just put him at the top as a striker because he's got the quality, or Pepe steps up, I'd rather see Gio in there, actually. And I feel like they can get it done, but obviously not having one of your better players is going to hurt him. But I think that Christian Pulisic is the engine that makes that thing. Like, Flo Balogun is great, but he's great partially because Christian Pulisic draws so much attention and makes everything happen.
Yeah, and we're going to talk more about Monday's match against Belgium coming up around 11 o'clock or so. A lot of texts coming in, though, asking why can't they overrule it. That's not allowed.
It's a FIFA protocol. It's different than
no appeal
other
process.
Leagues.
No appeal process or anything, which element does suck that the VAR protocol wasn't followed and there is nothing you can do. But again, I'll say this was something that immediate reaction. We were at the Peanut yesterday, and people were coming up to the table asking, like, does that mean he's done for the next match? I'm like, yeah. Yep. I don't know why there was so much thought that this would get overturned. Like that during the World Cup, that doesn't happen.
No, it doesn't.
Like I thought when you see a red card in the World Cup, they're done. Now, maybe Drew was telling, maybe if you're in MLS or EPL or whatever, it's a little bit different. But in the World Cup, you get a red card. That's why we were all, the reaction was so devastating because we all knew the minute the red card came out, like it wasn't just about last night. It was thinking about Monday.
It's weird, too, because, and genuinely, the U.S. was clearly the better team the entire time. I have not watched Bosnia play a single soccer match ever. They play the worst brand of soccer imaginable. How the hell did they even get to the knockout round?
It's the way Paraguay their style of play, though, is the reason why Paraguay beat Germany. That's the reason. That's what I said. That's why I said yesterday. I said Bosnia will try to play exactly the way that Paraguay played because it worked for Paraguay. It's going to be ugly. It's going to be frustrating to watch. But that's the way. That was the only way that Bosnia was ever going to have a chance to win the match. Was to survive.
I guess. But here's the part of the problem, and I guess this is the sports comparison I'd make. One, it's like watching Big Ten basketball in the 90s. You're like, cool. 42-43. I hope you guys had fun today.
Yeah, but they're trying to just win the match, and they're going up against a world power. They're trying to in Germany.
Bosnia had no chance on paper to win. Paraguay had no chance on paper to win that game. The only way they could have done it was to do what they did.
But they were underdogs. There's no doubt about it. They weren't as big of underdogs as some of the other upsets that we saw. The issue is that, and this is the problem I have with any team that doesn't know how to play offense in any sport. This is not soccer related. Is that when you have to, so when they're down 2-0 and there's 10 minutes to go, get off your ass.
Well, they're done.
They're done. Flow and plotting and can't do anything. They don't even move with urgency when they have to move with urgency.
I mean, they ended up
when
with the
there's no
same amount of
choice but
shots
to
as the
move with
U.S. did. Like,
urgency.
if you box score watch, Bosnia played. They had more possession and actually had the same amount of shots as the U.S. did. So if you box score watch and didn't watch the match at all, you'd have thought the thing was pretty even, actually. But if you watched it, then you know it wasn't.
But there's a specific path that like Bosnia had to win by. Is like that was how they're going to win.
There was no chance that Bosnia could have tried to play like the U.S. did. They would have gotten ran 5-0, 4 or 5-0. If they'd have tried to play the style of the U.S. There's
when Ghana was it against England, Ghana had the draw a week ago or whatever it was.
Ghana's way better than Bosnia.
But my point is
yes,
they parked the bus. They parked the bus.
You have to play a certain style,
and that was their best path to winning that match.
It wasn't even the worst version of that style, though. Like they never at any point made an aggressive move towards the net until they were up a man and there were like 12 minutes left.
That's the way it goes, though. I mean, that's not even the World Cup. That happens in the Premier League all the time, where bottom tier teams just pack it in and the other team just dominates. That's just the way that soccer kind of goes sometimes.
Yeah, people have been digging up stuff on that ref from last night. Though, have you seen the New York Times article?
Yeah.
He's got a shady background. It turns out. I mean, I'm not gonna.
I thought that was all of FIFA.
Well,
this is the ref.
Yeah, the ref in particular, I guess he had some issue going back a couple years ago. He was investigated. There was a back with Argentina in the World Cup qualifier back in 2020, and he was involved. Basically, there was a penalty in the first half, and
some questionable decisions.
Yeah, like basically giving out some red cards in that circumstance as well. That people have insinuated that it was something shady going on. Now he never he had to go in through a hearing or whatever they do in the process. Nothing obviously ultimately came from it because he's officiating a FIFA World Cup game in 2026. But there was some questionable stuff about this guy's past, which has people, of course, talking more and wondering what's up with the red card. I just think overall that clearly the VAR screwed this thing up too. I know it's his decision, but if VAR is recommending something to him and they use certain replays in a way they're not supposed to, that's a big problem.
U.S. has got to do whatever they can to keep their coach, though. The fact that he's already the winningest coach in U.S. men's national history, with all of 3 of them, by the way, in World Cup play, maybe just go ahead and lock that down if given the opportunity and allow him to continue. Because that's the other part about this team is that we said going into it that they weren't playing very good soccer, or at least not in some of those friendlies or the lead up to. But since the tournament started, even against Bosnia, they have not played what I think is a poor match. Even the one they lost against Turkey, considering 9 of 11 were backups anyway. They played a competitive match in that one too, which, by the way, that's a small thing. That is going to serve them. That matters now. The fact that those guys aren't coming in cold and now have some experience playing in the World Cup this year, that matters when you're down a guy like Balogun. It matters that you have some people who have at least gotten out on the pitch and played some competitive.
And Tim Weah played in the last World Cup. So like forget the match against Turkey. Tim Weah plays top tier European soccer, and Tim Weah also has got experience playing as a starter anyways.
He looks better, but this is always the weird part
for
about
somebody
the World
who could
Cup.
replace.
He looks much better playing European soccer than he does anytime he plays for the U.S. men's national team.
He did not look very good in that match against Turkey. That's why he came off for Pulisic.
That's what I can't figure out is how can you look so good against some of the highest competitors in the world and then you get in this one and he just doesn't look quite the same. Maybe it's the style of play for the U.S. team. Maybe he's a better fit for that. It could be a lot of different stuff, but it was insane. I still think that red card is insane. I'm still hopeful. I wish Senegal would have won now. Damn. They had a 2-0 lead with in the 80th minute.
Belgium too.
It is really interesting because Senegal are they're right there with the U.S. in terms of Senegal's not bad. They're not much worse than Belgium is actually.
So Senegal than Belgium.
Yeah, I just think that there's the quality difference is actually not far from what Belgium actually has, which is why they're up 2-0. I mean, they're ranked 4 rankings less than the U.S. They're right there.
The U.S., though, we know their FIFA rankings were a little depressed.
They were 18th coming into the tournament,
because they didn't play they didn't have to play any qualifying matches, so they were lower going into the tournament than people thought they should be.
They're 14th now, the U.S. are.
Yeah.
Belgium are 10th and Senegal were 17th or 18th.
I guess it'd be like the college football playoff, continue to rank them after the playoff starts. Part of it's what do I care about the rankings?
It doesn't matter anymore. No.
Yeah, they're in a tournament. I don't care what they're ranked. Can they win the match or can they not win the match?
It's just a reference point for people, I think.
Do you think
they pop it up on the scoreboard?
Yeah.
Carrington
on
was
the scoreboard.
complaining about Pulisic during the match last night. Am I the only one who thinks he's played pretty well in this?
Christian Pulisic is hands down the best player that we have. He's hands down the best player.
Well, and I think it's like he missed an entire match, so he didn't even play in the Turkey match. He tends to be like the
first
straw
match he
that
was
stirs.
awesome, though.
Yeah, the straw that stirs the drink. But I think Carrington's like, well, I don't see him score goals, so how good can he be? And you're like, but that's not.
That's not how it goes.
I mean, he does need to score goals, especially probably in the next match. But he has absolutely been a catalyst for a lot of action.
Yeah, not worried about his performance. But yeah, he's going to have to play great on Monday. And I know we'll have time later on this show and then on Monday to talk about that particular game. And we'll see if the odds market shifts. One other thing just around the World Cup, I saw that Fox put out some more data around just viewership and everything. We don't know the ratings
Are
from
we
last
still number
night.
one?
We have been, but we'll get last night's numbers later on tomorrow or whatever. But through the group stage, just interesting just demographic breakdown as far as age. So the total group stage viewing of the World Cup on Fox has surpassed total viewing of the Winter Olympics on NBC among younger people, right? So teenagers, 18 to 34 and 18 to 49, there's already been more people through this point in time that have watched the entire Winter Olympics on NBC. And we've talked about the Olympics in the past. Like, the interest in the Olympics is just not what it was before. That's not to say people were not fired up for USA hockey. Of course, we all watched the gold medal match there. But in general, Winter Olympic viewing, I even remember when you and I, you were a little bit different in age, Cody, but still close enough. You know, where when I was in like junior high and high school, the Olympics, that was like must watch that night. You know, Michael Phelps, etc. And now the Olympics, I don't want to say it's an afterthought, but it certainly is not something that people are as locked into as they were before, television-wise. And here we are with the World Cup, and we still have a whole bunch of games to be played. And for 18 to 34-year-olds and 18 to 49-year-olds, there's already been more viewership than the entire Winter Olympics.
That doesn't surprise me. I mean, again, it is a worldwide popular sport for a reason. My kid's locked in. My kid was he FaceTimed me before the show started. My daughter had lost a tooth, and so
Are
she
you
was,
still? What's the cash rate for the tooth fairy these days?
a couple bucks. I mean, what are we doing? $10 a
$10?
tooth?
I was
That's
thinking
crazy.
$10
$10 a tooth? They lose a lot of teeth.
5 or 10 at least.
5 is tops. And she already knows. She knows I'm the tooth fairy, but she knows it's cash. So she's like, I'm gonna put this tooth under there. Although I know you're the tooth fairy, I'd still like the money.
I would say you better pretend it's still a tooth fairy if you want any cash.
You want the dough. But in the middle of her showing me that, my son said, "You want me to show you? Can I show you my bicycle kicks?"
Nice.
And then he was just like throwing himself on the bed doing his version of a bicycle kick because he got to see one bicycle kick in the match. Who was the one who almost scored on the bicycle kick in the early match 2 days ago? Yesterday, Drew, you probably remember. There was one it was so close, by Germany, maybe. There was one that was like real close. It doesn't matter. But the point is, since he saw that, he just wants to pretend to do bicycle kicks. It's not surprising to me that, and it's been a really good tournament.
Yeah, look how much fun we had.
It's been a really good tournament.
Yeah, look, I mean, people last
It's
night.
in the U.S.
It's in the U.S. Last night, the Peanut, after the goal, Drew's blowing the vuvuzela, and we got people chanting USA, USA. We've all the images from P&L and FanFest. We've talked about how Kansas City is in its own right has crushed it, but people are enjoying, the camaraderie, frankly, and everybody's just having a good time the last month or so. And we've got hopefully a few more weeks of this. We'll see. And people can get behind a winner, and people obviously can get behind their country, and that's what's happening. And it's been a great time. And I think in Kansas City in particular, it's given us a little bit of a reprieve from focusing in on how abysmal and disappointing the Royals have been. Yeah.
By the way, the text line helped. It was Olise for France who had that near bicycle kick. The Royals, look, maybe a month ago we had a conversation. We said, all right, playoffs, let's just forget about those. Those are out. But
in 10 minutes we'll talk to Jake Eisenberg.
But can you prove to us that you are still the right people in charge to head the team in the right direction? They're running out of time on that. And then yesterday they get Chris Bubic transferred to the 60 IL. How come no one's coming back? Reagan's hurt again. Bubic hurt again. Estevez hurt again. Why's everyone having a setback? Can't get anyone healthy?
I think it's a fair question at this point too, and not like this is a deeper dive, but and luck can be one thing, but as far as the injury, like they have had an absurd amount of injuries to the point. We make the comments about the LA Chargers, and we're like, hey, you might want to check on what's your process there. Like what's going? Look, some players are injury prone, right? Chris Bubic has had injuries throughout his entire career. Cole Reagan's had injury history before coming to Kansas City. So some of these guys, I don't want to act like it changed once they made it to the big league club, or in Cole Reagan's case, once he got traded to the Royals. But the ridiculous rash of injuries, like I don't know, it would cause me to want to in the offseason, as top to bottom, want to review. Hey, what's our training regimen? What's our whole medical staff? All of that?
Did we misevaluate these injuries to start, or do we do a bad job rehabbing these injuries, or just are we on a burial ground that we don't know about and we're cursed? Because the fact that the 3 major injuries they've suffered from pitchers have all had setbacks, and you might lose all of them for the rest of the season. Yeah, I'd take a pretty hard look at my training staff and wonder, do we bring them back too soon, too early, push them too hard? Like, what was the step that took place in this? And that's the problem we've had this year, is that, like, people were complaining, like, Carter Jensen had a 20-game hitting streak, and then he was hitting 6th. And they were like, why is he hitting 6th? He's one of the guys, and it's because there was a lefty on the mound, and that, this works. And then the numbers support that, he should be further down the lineup, and Cags was higher in the lineup because obviously he's been the power hitter. They didn't score any runs last night anyway, so it didn't really matter. Unfortunately for Jensen, his hit streak ended last night at 20, and so it's not like they were even justified in doing it, although they only scattered a couple of hits anyway. It just feels like every decision they've made this year has been the wrong one. Like the lineups, wrong lineups. Pitching wrong rehab process. It just feels like every decision has been wrong in some capacity. The only one they can make the argument for, because at least I would say you held back Jack Caglione from getting better sooner, and he should have just been playing this much from the beginning. They could say, no, by slowly entering into the season, we allowed him to get confident, and that's why he's so good now. They can at least make the argument that the way they handled Jack Caglione from the beginning was the correct approach, and eventually that's what helped him get there. They can make that argument. I wouldn't. Mm-hmm. I would just say, think about all those extra at-bats. He could have been awesome for you. It's fine. But it just feels like so many of the decisions this year have backfired on him, and that's what really hurts about this year.
No, absolutely. We keep saying it's been a disastrous season. I just think the medical part has not been discussed as much, and there's so many things that go into that. So I am not saying that we know anything definitively, but I'm just saying, like, I'd be doing a hard review on our entire training staff and medical staff and figure out why have we had this increase in injuries this year. I get it. Injuries, of course, are always going to happen in baseball, especially with elbows. And some of these guys had a long injury history before. But, man, it just feels like, there's
maybe it's just one of those years.
Maybe.
But I don't know. Like for everything. Like it was going bad and then it got worse.
For sure. When it rains, it pours kind of thing.
Yeah.
Maybe that's exactly. Let's talk more Royals with Jake Eisenberg. He's going to join us coming up next. We'll also talk more about make or break seasons in the NFL with one Chiefs player in particular. That's next here on Cody and Gold.
You're listening to Cody and Gold.
We're going to try to tickle your tonsils.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
I'm worried. Since your accident, we've got medical bills and you're missing work.
I know. I just don't know where to start.
We call SWL Injury Law the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do.
If they can help us get through this.
We've helped people just like you recover what they deserve. Visit us at SWL Injury Law today for your free consultation. We're the Car Crash Kings. It's what we do.
Visit SWLinjurylaw.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Use Polymarket to trade the World Soccer Knockout rounds. Delete that sportsbook app that's robbing you and join the millions using Polymarket. Polymarket is a prediction market, not a sportsbook. You trade against other fans, not the house. Polymarket, your go-to prediction market for soccer's biggest stage, available in all 50 states. Download the Polymarket app, use promo code FOX to unlock $50 free for your first trade. That's promo code FOX. Trading not available in all jurisdictions. Check local regulations before trading. Restrictions and eligibility apply.
Train to push past the pain. Not athletes, just people. Men, women, and children trafficked every day in the United States. Sometimes by someone they trusted, sometimes by their own family. While millions watch the World Cup, they're fighting to survive in silence. Help us change that. Visit bluecampaign.gov/World Cup to help us break the silence.
As World Soccer hits the big stage, Fanatics Sportsbook is making every game day worth more. Earn up to 10% fan cash on your soccer bets, win or lose. That's real extra value you can unlock every match, all tournament long. And fan cash isn't just for betting. You can use it anywhere in the world of Fanatics, on game tickets, merchandise, collectibles, profit boosts, and more. One ecosystem, endless ways to spend. Plus, new customers get up to $1,000 in fan cash. That's $100 bet matched every day for your first 10 days. The world is ready. Are you? Fanatic Sportsbook. Winning hits different here. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or 1-800-MY-RESET. CT, call 888-789-7777. MA, call 800-327-5050. NY, call 877-8-HOPE-NY. MD, visit mdgamblinghelp.org. Not available in all states. Terms apply. See Fanatic Sportsbook app.
New Game Plus with Oxy makes your laundry smell incredible and fights stubborn smells, like the ones your dog Biscuit brought into your freshly made bed last night. But you washed that all away with Game, and now you're drifting asleep to the scent and sound of waves. Ah, no, that's the dog licking your ear.
Biscuit.
It just might be our greatest scent ever, now with odor-fighting power. New Game Plus with Oxy.
Sniff the difference.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Attention, have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe $10, $20, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-358-6868. That's 800-358-6868. Again, 800-358-6868.
For 75 years, Kansas City families have trusted Anthony for comfort, safety, and dependable service. Thank you for trusting us with your house keys. Anthony, in your home for 75 years.
You already know that every Royals game is right here on 96.5 The Fan. But if you're looking for more Royals coverage, tune in to hear Royals insider Josh Fernier throughout the week. He joins Fesco and Dusty every Monday morning at 8:20. Cody and Gold every Wednesday at 12:30. And he joins The Drive every Friday at 3. Miss anything? Check it out on the show podcast or All Things Fern Channel, wherever you get your podcasts. This is your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan. You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
All right, we're just getting going here on a Thursday. Cody and Gold, Alex Gold, Cody Tapp, Drew Nixon with you. Coming up in 10 minutes or so, we will talk about a make-or-break season for one particular Chiefs player. But let's talk a little Royals baseball. Let's check in with our guy, Jake Eisenberg from the Royals Radio Network. Of course, you also see him on Royals TV. Jake, before we get to Royals, do you have the ability to keep track a little bit of the World Cup? I know you were, of course, calling a game in the middle of it last night with the Royals taking on the Rays, but have you been able to follow the World Cup at all?
Yeah, we've been keeping tabs on it. We were keeping an eye on the score, and Eric, our producer engineer, is a big soccer fan, so he's had maybe a keener eye on it than maybe me, Denny, or Stu. But yeah, we knew what was going on last night.
Have you called soccer matches before ever? I know obviously you've been doing play-by-play for baseball a while. I'm assuming at some point you've called a soccer game.
Yeah, no, I did a bunch of soccer in college, did a bunch of soccer coming out of college, various schools, in colleges, did a lot of Creighton soccer a few years ago when I was living in Omaha. I'll admit it's not a sport that's at the top of my list, but it can be a beautiful game.
I was about to say, what is the sport that's hardest for you to call over the years?
To be honest, I think it's soccer, and I think that's just because it's not the sport that I'm most familiar with. I mean, the highest level that I played soccer at was first grade, running around and having orange slices. And so when you're not as intimately familiar with the nuances of the sport, it can be a little bit trickier.
Let's talk about the end of Carter Jensen's 20-game hitting streak to start things off, and there's some other things to talk about with the team. But just in general, for him, his growth as a hitter this year, I know it stinks to have a hitting streak come to an end, but what have you made of Carter Jensen's, development this year? Vern has told us he thinks defensively has been a big leap forward for him this year. What have you just seen out of him so far this season?
Yeah, honestly, the defensive stuff is somewhat flown under the radar because the offense has been the headline, especially in the month of June. He was the Royals' April Player of the Month, and then in May, it was a down month offensively, and I think there were some growing pains that we didn't necessarily see in specific moments, but maybe happened over the course of a few weeks. But ever since he got moved into the leadoff spot, I think he's become so much more centered and so much more consistent at the plate specifically. And I asked him about that. We were in Tampa, and I went up to him and I was going to ask him about his streak, and he was like, "No, I don't want to talk about this streak. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't thinking about it." And I love that candor and that reality. How could you not think about it? And so I asked him a question in a different way. I was like, "What do you think has helped you become more consistent at the plate?" And somewhat ironically, he said consistency. That he's not necessarily changing his approach from plate appearance to plate appearance like he might have been in early May when we saw some of those struggles where if one at-bat did not necessarily go with the result that, was hoping for or expected, he might change the plan a little bit and get away from his approach of seeing pitches and driving balls that are in the strike zone. And so he said keeping that approach consistent, plate appearance to plate appearance, or regardless of where he's hitting in the lineup, that's what's helped him actually be consistent from a results perspective. And having that level of understanding and maturity and then going and doing that, I think that tells you right then and there the kinds of strides that he's made as a big league player, still just days shy of his 23rd birthday.
So much about the offense, with the hitting streak and everything that he had leading into last night. But what about just defensively, too, a little bit more? I mean, that was, I know, the first month of the season, somewhat of a story. Some mistakes were happening, but it feels like he has now kind of really figured out even more so the catching side of things.
Yeah, I think what's stood out lately is the blocking specifically. There was a pass ball the other day, between us. I thought that was pretty borderline, could have been a wild pitch just as easily. And those are sort of nebulous statistical things anyway, depending upon how they happen. But the blocking has gotten so much better. I think there's a lot more confidence with the blocking. And I asked Kevin Cash yesterday, went over to the Rays dugout. He's a catcher. And I was curious just in general what he sees in young catchers when he looks at young catchers, and he understood that I was kind of sort of talking about Carter. And he mentioned that Carter Jensen's blocking ability, beating the ball to the spot with his glove and then getting his body behind it, he mentioned that that's sort of a newer wave of catching blocking strategy as opposed to sort of smothering it with your body and getting your body in front of it more than anything else, getting the glove to that spot and beating the ball to that spot. We've seen that with Carter on some of those ones on the backhand, and I haven't counted, but there have been a bunch with a runner on third where he saved a run, and that doesn't show up in the box score, but it has been vastly improved.
When you look at, the things that are going injury-wise off the field building up, Bubic transferred to the 60-day IL. We know last week Cole Reagan's unfortunately had a setback. We've heard of that for Estevez too. Is this one of those just when it rains, it pours? Because normally somebody would have come back by now, Jake, but unfortunately for them, it doesn't look like they've got reinforcements coming.
Yeah, and that was the hope. It's certainly disappointing and frustrating, and I have to think, especially so for Cole, who missed most of last season with an injury, and also for Chris, who missed a lot of last season with an injury. I mean, these are not guys that expect to have to deal with things like this, especially in back-to-back seasons, and goodness knows, we know that Cole had, 2 years of Tommy John surgeries where he didn't pitch basically for 2 years. So it's especially frustrating for those guys. And as far as Chris is concerned, I remember when he first went on the injured list, it was something that he felt was pretty mild in nature and that going on the IL was more proactive than anything else. And unfortunately, that has not proven to be the case given the setbacks that have happened. And hopefully this latest one is a very short-term one. And now that he's on the 60-day IL, hopefully he can come back, right at the start of the second half of the season after the All-Star break, assuming everything continues to check out well. And as far as Carlos Estevez is concerned, I'm sure it's frustrating for him too, not to contribute to a team that he signed on to be with for 2 years. You lead the majors in saves, that's great. You want to go do it again. He's a big part of the team's success last year. He had a save in over half the team's wins last season. That's how important Carlos Estevez was to the 2025 Royals and certainly the 2026 Royals plans. And, you look at the way a lot of the games have gone and specifically the way a lot of the ninth innings have gone. You can't tell me that having Carlos Estevez wouldn't have made a pretty big difference in some of the outcomes of the games over the course of the beginning of the year.
What do you look at, I guess, from the next few weeks before the All-Star break? J.J. Picollo had said he's going to give them enough time to prove whether they go one way or the other before the trade deadline. What kind of things do you think J.J. should be looking for if he thinks this team could still make a late run, let's say August, September, even if it seems thin possibility now?
Yeah, I mean, candidly, I think you're at a point where it's sure you want the process to be good and you want the underlying stuff to be good, but you're also at a point where you kind of just got to win almost no matter what. You got to either win ugly or win luckily. You got to stack those wins, heading into the All-Star break to put yourself in a position to make a run at this thing. I think one thing that I would expect that JJ might also be keeping an eye on is what's happening around the rest of the American League. The Royals are currently at a point where if they're going to get back into this, and again, candidly, there's a slim chance given where the Royals are, they're going to need some help at this point. Now, over the last couple of years, we've seen the Guardians, who were 15 and a half games out of the division in July of last year, only to roar back and win it. We saw the Tigers 10 games out. I believe it was in August a couple of years ago, come back and make the playoffs. Like, this is not an unprecedented thing, especially in the American League Central. But the thing that both the Guardians and the Tigers had going for them in those surges is that the teams that they were chasing also fell back and came back to them at the same time. So the Royals are going to need some help from the teams in the division, the teams ahead of them in the wild card standings. And, of course, the Royals need to get some wins, however they may come.
I know you got a game to call on the 4th of July with the Phillies in town and the big fireworks celebration going on at the K. But what did you do as a kid? Do you do anything now still? Were you a fireworks guy living out east or not?
Yeah, we had fireworks. There's always fireworks everywhere, right? So, we'd barbecue, we'd hang out. I spent a lot of my summers up at camp, and so there was a big fireworks show with all the campers and all the kids there. We had a good time. And obviously, over the last 10 years or so now that I've been in professional baseball, the 4th of July has meant a baseball game, which to me is about as quintessential a way to celebrate the 4th of July as it gets. Well, what better way to celebrate it than with America's pastime? So I've always enjoyed being a part of baseball, specifically on the 4th of July, and hopefully it comes with a win and a good fireworks show after. I've always found, look, there are a lot of fireworks shows across baseball and especially in minor league baseball, but teams tend to pull out all the stops for 4th of July. That's the show that among all the ones we see that I actually pay attention to.
Do you get a little preview of it so you know what's coming on Saturday?
No, I have no idea.
Oh, you're just going to have to see it like the rest of us, I guess.
Yeah.
It's hard to do a firework preview,
things, yeah. I mean, I might hear some noises, but I haven't actually seen anything. Plus, I'd rather be surprised. I'd rather enjoy it.
Well, have a great 4th, man. Appreciate it, and we'll check in here in the next week.
Likewise, guys. I appreciate it. Hey, one quick thing before I go. I believe phase 2 voting ends in about 20 minutes.
All right.
So let's lock Bobby Witt Jr. into that starting shortstop position in the All-Star game. Royals.com/vote. It is still incredible to me that he has not been an All-Star game starter over the course of his career. He lost the phase 2 vote to Gunnar Henderson 2 years ago, to Jacob Wilson last year. He's going up against the entire country of Canada and Blue Jays fans and Andres Jimenez in this round of voting. Let's make it conclusive. Bobby Witt Jr. should be the starting shortstop in the All-Star game for the American League. America's shortstop to America's birthplace. Make it happen.
I love it. There you go. Jake Eisenberg. Yeah, there you go. Royals.com. Absolutely. 20 minutes left in phase 2 of the voting. It is crazy. He should be.
Bobby's never been an All-Star.
Should be the starter. Yeah, gosh. He should be the starter. Absolutely. We were talking about the fireworks. So the Royals, they have a fireworks extravaganza tonight, okay? And then on Saturday, a fireworks spectacular. Okay. And so this extravaganza, was spectacular or extravaganza get you more excited?
Extravaganza.
But that's tonight. The spectacular is on on the 4th.
I think extravaganza. I think they got it reversed. Extravaganza sounds cooler than spectacular.
I think so. Tonight should be the fireworks spectacular, and then Saturday the fireworks extravaganza. Now Saturday they're doing the America 250 celebration. They have the Air Force Wings blue jump team, which is badass. The flyover, and then they're also going to have extended fireworks and everything going on there. I guess going on, but I was just chuckling because it's going to be awesome. But fireworks extravaganza and then fireworks spectacular. I didn't know there was a huge difference between the two.
Jake reminding us, Royals.com/All-Star. He gave the wrong URL. But Royals.com/All-Star. Go vote for Bobby Witt Jr. to be the starting shortstop. It's kind of crazy, I guess, that he hasn't been. Here, I'll go vote now. Right now, Jake. I'm really bad about it.
There's a big header on. If you just go to Royals.com on the top, there's a huge header on the banner on the top of the page, and it says "Vote Bobby." You can just click there, and it'll link you right over to the ballot, and then you can go ahead and hit the little star next to Bobby Witt Jr.'s name and get your vote in.
Good news is for you, Jake. This is probably the first time I have voted in an all-star ballot since you used to punch the holes at the stadium when I was a kid.
Oh, the hanging chads.
Yeah.
The hanging chads.
When they just hand them out at the ballpark. Boy, what a rigged system that was. Oh, yeah, if you're a team that holds 45,000 people, I wonder if they'll have more all-stars than, a state. And, you have to remember, those Royals teams there for a while weren't very good,
All
and
right,
so that probably wasn't helping anything either, but I have voted.
You don't have to fill out the full ballot either. I just
voted for Bobby.
Just Bobby. You don't have to go through and take the time to select everybody else. Just select Bobby and then go and type in your email, hit submit, and boom.
Forget those other fools. We're only worried about Bobby Witt Jr. at least
That's
on
it.
this one.
Phase 2. It's already down to just 2 people. So
yeah, we got to make sure that this is all squared away. And
Otani's already in because he was the top vote getter from Phase 1. So he's already locked in the designated hitter.
I don't know, man. Are you sure he should be a starter?
And then the top vote getter on the AL side is another Blue Jay. But as Jake said, it's true. You get the entire country of Canada that's voting for the Toronto team.
Doesn't help.
We
almost
cheating,
got Omar
honestly.
Infante in.
They've changed the voting process.
I will say, I think Omar Infante did get in, and that Major League Baseball changed the numbers so that he was.
I'm convinced of that as well.
It's like when Zaza Pachulia got voted into the NBA All-Star game, and they're like, no, we're not
I'll
going for
just tell you now, based on how that voting went that year, 1,000% Omar Infante was the actual voting leader, and they rigged that election because they knew that they couldn't let Omar Infante start an All-Star game. I can't be convinced otherwise. That's a conspiracy theory.
Did
I
he
believe
actually play in it?
No, he didn't get elected. Though you have to Drew, you weren't around, but there was a whole campaign around Vote Omar. Omar Infante was not having a good season.
Oh, yeah, it's the same thing that Golden State Warriors fans did with Zaza Pachulia.
So they changed the voting process because the Royals fans were so
think the NBA might have done the same thing.
Well, they put 7 All-Stars in that year. Omar wasn't one of them, but they had a million others.
And someone was asking where's Bobby. Right now, yes, Bobby was first among AL shortstops, but it's in Phase 2, and so he needs to be in first place here in order to be the starter.
Trying to keep it that way.
In Philadelphia here in a couple weeks.
If we can. Let's switch gears, talk a little Chiefs football, and then we'll get back to the U.S. men's national team and what to expect against Belgium coming up here in just a little bit. But they were asking over at Arrowed Addict, and I think it's a fair question because they put the numbers behind it. I'll give Lyle Graverson some credit here. When you start looking at the players who take a jump at the time Jalen Royals was taken, it's kind of now, Gold. Especially for those lower round guys where if you don't see at least some spike in production in year 2, it's hard to imagine any spike of production is coming in year 3 for a player taken at his level. Now, look, baseline for success, and these are the players he put in there. Guys like Mac Hollins or Parker Washington or Khalil Shakir. These are players who did not, or Kendrick Bourne, players who did not have big year ones, although bigger year ones than Jalen Royals, who only had a couple of catches. Year 2 is when they started getting in the 400-500 range, and it doesn't have to go beyond that, but at least turning into the DeMarcus Robinson level production does need to start happening for Jalen Royals now. And I do I usually view the difference between year 2 and year 3 as the big jump year for if you're going to be a really good starter, like Xavier Worthy is a big year. But for contributor, year 1 to year 2, you got to do something on the field. If Jalen Royals can't have 400 yards this season, well, then he's never going to do anything for this team, is I guess my opinion.
Well, he has to get on the field. I mean, that's why last year he really was not given an opportunity to show anything. I get you have to create your opportunity, right? If in practice and stuff he's not showing it, then hard to get on the field. That I'm sure was part of the equation. But, I mean, it's so hard to suggest whether or not he's capable of doing it or not because we really just have not seen the kid play at all. And then they draft Cyrus Allen in the 5th round. And we'll see ultimately what kind of role he has on this team. I do think with Juju Smith-Schuster not being on the roster, it opens the door for a player like Jalen Royals to take on that role a bit more. Doesn't mean he's going to have huge production, but I think that's how he gets on the field more, and then let's see what he can get. But I told you mentioned 500. I would lock in 350 yards from Jalen Royals right now
that
because
we
just didn't see anything.
Huge step forward. Because the truth is, I really do want him to have essentially like Demarcus Robinson's career here. Like, and I don't mean that as I think sometimes we look back and it's like he was a player that people insulted and were happy to run out of town during a time. He's only had 1 year above like 500 yards in his entire NFL career, and it was 505. In Kansas City, he went from 0 catches and 0 yards his rookie season. So, essentially Jalen Royals, 212, 288, 449, 466. That's the kind of development I think Royals needs to see. Maybe 212 is a little low than what I would like, but you're right, Gold. If he went to 350, that to me means, okay, congratulations. You are a 4 or 5 wide receiver who deserves a roster spot and does some things that are contributing to the team. That's all I'm asking him to turn into. I think it's fair to say that they put their money, at least at the moment, in Rice and Xavier Worthy, and then next year I think we'll probably draft another wide receiver high or trade for one.
Have to.
He doesn't need to be a superstar for them. But as far as make or break in the contributing camp, yeah, it's kind of like you got to start contribute. You can't finish the season with 77 yards, and then I'm going to kid in year 3 that somehow then you're going to turn into a 400-yard wide receiver. Yeah, right.
Again, I think he takes on the Juju Smith-Schuster role, but also the one part that when we're factoring in contribution this year is, do they go out and bring in Tyreek Hill at some point? Does he play? Do they go and sign another wide receiver? Because right now we know it's Rashee Rice, it's Xavier Worthy, it's Tyquan Thornton, and then it's Jalen Royals, Cyrus Allen, and Nico Remigio. I mean, if we're going way further down the depth chart, now they've suddenly signed Tyreek Hill, and is he available early in the season? We don't know, but all right, then that pushes, of course, everybody back. I do think it's just more Jalen Royals could be more of a blocking type of wide receiver that gets some opportunities occasionally. Never going to be the guy that's probably going to ever blow up and be a 95-yard receiving game. He's going to be a guy. Can he occasionally, honestly, have a 40-yard receiving game? 30 yard. I mean, and I know you're like, well, that's a low bar. He also was not a first, second, or third round pick. I mean, but being where he was drafted, you kind of are thinking contributor role. Like if we were to go back, anytime we do the draft stuff in February and March any year, we talk about certain wide receivers. Certain wide receivers are projected to be more just contributors. There's obviously the ones that are drafted in the first round, like Xavier Worthy or even Rashee Rice, where you're expecting first, number 1, number 2 wide receiver type of stuff.
This is why I mentioned Demarcus Robinson. So, like in a year, he finished 350 yards in 2018. Do you know who else was ahead of him on that team? Tyreek Hill, Sammy Watkins, Chris Conley, Travis Kelce. So it's not to say Demarcus Robinson didn't have people who caught the ball in front of him, and the running back, Kareem Hunt, had more yards than him in the receiving game. So, like, I'll just point out, like, and I understand that was a really good offensive year, but that's to point out that there were a million people who could have caught the football in front of him, and he still managed to be a contributor. He still managed to have 350 yards. Matter for the offense.
He at least played though. Like Jalen Royals couldn't even sniff the field.
But that's the point. My point is that he needs to start playing.
Yeah,
for his own sake, or he's just never going to matter to this team at all.
Which is an Andy thing more than anything else. Because I mean,
or he's not any good. But I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, sure, but at the moments they had 4 games or whatever without Patrick Mahomes, and he didn't play until the last one. Which is why we had the whole conversation that it made no sense at all whatsoever why he at least wasn't even on the field. Forget if he knows your system or not. Play him. It doesn't matter.
Oh, agreed.
If he doesn't know some of the playbook, fine. The season's gone anyways.
Yeah, so I agree
But they
with
still
you.
waited to do it. So it ultimately, I don't even know if it's as much up to Jalen as it is Andy.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think we all agreed at the time, like, why not find out what you have? Now, we'll find out as the season goes on. There are also, I'm not saying this is Jalen Royals, in fairness to him, we don't know yet, but there are also some players, they never get on the field because it turns out they just stunk. Now, I think it's way too early for anybody outside of the coaching staff, and even then, to be able to say whether or not they know what he's going to be or not be.
But if they don't put him on the field, he stinks.
Yeah, like if he can't get on the field this year, then it's not Andy Reid in the coaching staff. It's that he's just not that good.
Yeah.
But I think anybody saying that's already the case, that'd be foolish.
No, I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm just saying it's make or break.
Yeah.
I think Aaron Addicks got it right. It is a make or break year for Jalen Royals, and if he doesn't turn into a slight contributor, like if you got 250, 300, I'll listen. As in his contributor role could slowly grow. But if he finishes this season with 7 catches for 79 yards after 17 games, it's over.
I agree with that.
It's all she wrote. We don't have to waste any more time talking about it.
But let's see what he can do before we write him off. You know, if we all acknowledge for a whole calendar year, you know, as someone points out, you know, we all acknowledge that their wide receiver coach stunk. Maybe if you're a raw receiver, it's tough to develop if you're not getting the coaching you need on top of it. Of course, you have to have the natural ability and already be at a certain level to get drafted. He clearly has talent. But at the NFL level, is there fine-tuning that's needed? Absolutely. And maybe having a legitimate wide receiver coach could also help his progress. So we'll see. During camp, I think it'll be telling, too. What kind of playing time does he get in preseason even? No matter what, we're still talking about the fourth or fifth receiver on this team.
Yeah, you know, but those guys matter more than we want to make out. Like, you need good depth and guys who can get a catch every once in a while. Go ahead.
The comment that you just said, Gold, they have the fact that an Andy Reid-led offense actually has a legit wide receiver coach now. It's just baffling.
I know.
It's so embarrassing. It's so embarrassing for the organization. It's so embarrassing.
Nepotism's crazy sometimes.
The fact that he has it doesn't. It's
that's how that last guy got the job.
It's actually embarrassing that he was the wide receiver. That Connor Embry was. It is legitimately embarrassing. If they're that much better this year, you wasted 3 years with him.
It was
essentially.
Crazy.
Can you imagine how much better Rashee Rice would even be now, or Xavier Worthy would be now at this point in their development if it had been a legit wide receiver? It's just baffling that Andy Reid, of all people, would have a incompetent wide receiver coach. It makes no sense.
I went back to his Wikipedia not that long ago just to be like, Connor Embry, when he got fired, I was like, what was the qualifications again? Then I looked it up, and Nate Taylor was like, oh, he don't have any. Like, qualifications to do that job?
Yeah, that was a favor.
That's something you see in college. You don't see that in the NFL. You see that in college.
He was Fairview High School in Colorado's wide receivers coach in 2017. Then he showed up as a defensive assistant for a year in Kansas City. Then they made him an offensive quality control coach for a year. And then he was just in charge of all the wide receivers. And you're like, was an awfully big jump.
I think we recognized, I mean, that was obviously just a massive failure and mistake. Now, at the same time, as much as we can talk about, as I've said with Chad O'Shea, you know, he's not a miracle worker either. So we don't, it's not like everybody now is suddenly going to turn into 1,000-yard receivers. But man, if you're a young receiver and now I have proper coaching, which I think we're all confident they're going to get at the wide receiver spot now, it definitely doesn't hurt with my development. If I'm Jalen Royals, I'm excited to have a guy that's coached Randy Moss before, you know, and Wes Welker, et cetera. I would probably also pay a bit more attention to what he has to say.
Yeah.
His resume is legit. So we'll see. Yeah. We'll be watching Jalen Royals and Cyrus Allen on the back end of the wide receiver room for sure.
They're in a real competition. That's one of those, like, may the best man win. Like, it doesn't have to be Royals. If Allen's better, he can be the fourth wide receiver.
Been seeing a lot of Cyrus Allen workout tape stuff.
Honestly, I'm not rooting. Like, this always is like the thing. I don't think I know anything about. Like, I would lean Jalen Royals is no good because he had 0 catches until week 17. But I don't purport to, like, know for sure he's not. I would certainly still give him the benefit of the doubt that there might still be some juice there, especially because of all the wide receiver stuff we're talking about. But it's also like best man win. Like, there's no loyalty there either. If Cyrus Allen is immediately better, then he's better.
All right, coming up next, we'll get to the 11 o'clock hour. We'll talk about the USA's next opponent in Belgium a little bit and the fallout from last night. And you think the Royals should be already discussing one thing with a certain player.
What's up, KC? It's Carter Jensen. You're listening to Cody and Gold on your home for Royals baseball, 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com. 96.5 The Fan.
I hear the sizzle of the grill. It's time to buy Gates sauces and seasonings for your 4th of July cookout. Make sure to use both for a boost of flavor on your dips, chips, and more. Try Gates salad seasoning on raw or cooked vegetables and sprinkle over corn on the cob to give it that extra flavor pop. Stop in and pick up a couple of slabs of ribs or a party tray to serve this 4th of July. Whichever, Gates has you covered. All 5 locations will be open this 4th of July. Gates has proudly served Kansas City for 80 years. Thanks with love.
Hey, it's Rex here with Rex Buys KC. I get it. Selling your house can sometimes feel overwhelming or scary, right? I've seen it too many times. A homeowner thought they had a deal, only to have the buyer back out at the last minute. That's not how we do business at Rex Buys KC. I'm local, I know Kansas City, and I make sure every deal actually closes like it's supposed to. No hidden fees, no showings, No last-minute surprises, just a fair cash offer and a process you can count on. We buy homes in any condition and judgment-free. So whether your house needs repairs or you just want a fast, hassle-free sale, we can make it happen. If you want certainty, transparency, and someone local who actually delivers, call 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com. Rex Buys KC, helping people make smart choices one home at a time. 816-330-6000 or rexbuyskc.com.
And Doug. Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons, and lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen, and oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live, and you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Getting a little older doesn't have to mean, well, getting older. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if you're feeling low energy, can't sleep, can't lose weight, are struggling with brain fog, or your sex drive is off, it's time to change it up. At Heartland Men's Health, our advanced medical strategies featuring TRT, GH peptides, NAD+, GLP-1s, PDA, and more treat low T and other hormonal issues to help you shed pounds, have more energy, enhance your body composition, improve sleep, increase your sex drive, and so much more. Getting you back in the game again. So don't be older. Be stronger in the gym. Be sharper at work. Be better in the bedroom and be more confident in every part of your life. So call us today and find out how our advanced treatment strategies could change the game for you. Your first visit is just $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on one of our advanced treatment plans on the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
Featured therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
On the biggest stage in the world, FanDuel is out here changing the game. Because sometimes your player gets subbed off, and that means your bet goes with them. Well, not anymore. With FanDuel's Super Sub, if your player is subbed out, your bet stays in. That's right. If your player leaves the match, your bet continues on with the substitute. Your bet stays alive, keeping you in the action longer. So if you're still in it until the final whistle, Super Sub covers the entire game, including extra time. So visit FanDuel.com/local to get started now. Look for the yellow Super Sub icon on the game page and the My Bets page. If your player leaves the match due to substitution or an injury, your bet will automatically transfer to the substitute who replaces that player. So go to FanDuel.com/local. Let there be goals this summer on FanDuel. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official sportsbook of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
And the match is about to begin.
Most of the team is out with COVID-19, so there'll be some substitutes tonight.
What's this? We have an unexpected guest on the field.
It's a dog. Well, they could do with extra players.
She's going for the ball.
Are front paws hands or feet?
Soccer season is full of surprises, and COVID-19 could be one of them. If you test positive, prescription medications may help. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Learn more at PfizerForAll.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Onyx, I keep having stomach issues. Please make me a doctor's appointment.
Okay. Are you suffering from diarrhea, bloating, gas, or oily stools? If so, you may want to ask your doctor if it could actually be a problem with your pancreas, called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI.
My pancreas? How is EPI treated?
A prescription medicine like Creon, pancrelipase, is used to treat people who can't digest food normally because their pancreas doesn't make enough enzymes. Creon is the #1 prescribed treatment for EPI.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you are allergic to pork, or if you have gout gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules, as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon. You can learn more at 1-800-633-9110.
Before your appointment, visit creoninfo.com. That's CREON info.com.
Hey, it's Rob Brenton, and now that the tournament has started here in Kansas City, we're keeping you up to date on Beyond the Pitch KC. So subscribe and download today. The podcast is presented by Commerce Bank. Visit commercebank.com/soccer26. Available on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
This is your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
$11 o'clock hour on a Thursday. Feels like a Friday. For a lot of people, it is their Friday. Maybe you already are headed out for the 4th of July weekend. Appreciate you guys that are listening to the show today. Maybe you're watching on YouTube, Twitch, X, and Facebook. You can always do that. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube. You can always text into the show on the J Southland Tow Service text line, 913-586-7965. Maybe we'll talk a bit about the 4th of July weekend, see what everybody's up to at some point today as well. We'll get to the trash of the day in 20 minutes or so. Before we get into Monday and the fallout from yesterday's win for the U.S., and of course, they're going to be without one of their best players and the ridiculous nature of that red card last night, and they get Belgium, and we'll take a look at an early look at what to expect in that match. But we were talking Royals and the disappointing nature of the season, to say the least, but the one, maybe two positives around Jensen and Cags, and we went from last year in the call-up in St. Louis with Jack Caglione and the disappointing start to his MLB career to now what he's doing, and maybe a guy that could end up in a home run derby, knowing the trend across baseball. You think they should be having conversations with his team already?
Yeah, we've had these chats before, and you could make the argument, in fairness, for Carter Jensen just the same, I suppose. But if you are a team who thinks a young player is going to be good for at least 5 years, the entire trend in Major League Baseball, and I don't think the whole league has it wrong, is to pay that player now because you avoid arbitration, you do all this other nonsense, and then you just get this player under contract for a number of years at a controllable rate. They should be talking to Jack Caglione's representation about a contract.
But if you're him, why do that?
Well, I mean, you could have asked the same thing about Bobby, who signed one. Now, he signed a much more lucrative one in the end, and a number of other players who've done it as well. We also know, you and I both know, familial circumstances and all this other stuff play a major factor in this decision-making. Sometimes for the Royals, it's just about locking up one additional year. Like, can you add 1 year to this thing, and then I'll pay you for the rest of them if you think he's good already? And I'll be honest, because of the type of talent that he was and what we've already seen this season, he's already taken enough of a leap to want to lock him up, hasn't he? Like, what is the genuine risk? He's not going anywhere for the next 5 years on this team. Not unless you're going to trade him. And if he's cheap, he'll be tradable anyway, no matter the circumstance.
I get why the Royals would be interested. I just would wonder if you're him. And you're right. We've seen other players that have done it this year. In fact, heck, one of the prospects for the Mariners, Emerson, hadn't been called up yet, and he did the deal before he's now since been called up. But he hadn't been called up yet. Connor Griffin, of course, the Pirates, number one prospect in baseball, got a deal done right as he was making his MLB debut. So it has happened. You're right. There's circumstances around it. I guess I would wonder, what would entice him to do that? Yes, the security aspect financially, but given his circumstance, given the fact that he already, was a top pick and therefore had a pretty nice signing bonus to go with it, given the fact that you don't know what the future of this organization looks like. Do you want to sign? I mean, that's just the reality of it. Like, you don't know who the GM is going to be one day down the road, who the manager
everything
could be.
Pirates related too. In fairness, when Connor Griffin signed it,
absolutely
similar franchise complaints, similar background, similar where he was taken. I mean, I guess here's the question: is if right now you knew the Royals could get Jack Caglione on a 9-year, $140 million deal, you done?
Yeah, again, I get why.
Would you do it? Like if you were the Royals?
Yeah, as I said, this is not even if I'm the Royals, it's a no-brainer. Yeah. I'm talking about from the player perspective. Why would I want to do it? There's reasons to do it. I don't think he should be in any rush to do it. If I'm the Royals, absolutely you do it.
Yeah, and I think that's why I'm saying like they should be making a call. I always understand the both sides have to agree, and you got to convince Jack Caglione it's worth it. But it's just, and some of these have been happening before these guys even get called up.
So I said Emerson in the Mariners.
Yeah, I was about to say, but you now got evidence. Mm-hmm. I understand, and maybe there is still some, and this is the part where I feel like sometimes they slow walk this is. There is probably still somewhere in the back of their mind, those 40 games last year, those 50 games last year, and they're like, ugh. Well, that went pretty bad. Is that any part of who he is? Can that ever rear its ugly head again? And it's like, it's so hard because if he had just done what he's doing now, but also in those 40 games last year, this would be no question for the Royals. I do think there's a part of them that probably sits and wonders that. And look, Connor Griffin's been pretty much the same as Jack Caglione this year. He's got only 5 home runs in 56 games, but 269 average, 323 on base. These all look like Jack Caglione numbers, except for more power and some other stats. They're not quite the same player, obviously. Connor Griffin's got more stolen bases, etc. He's a shortstop, so it's slightly different. But I'm just...
Yeah, Connor Griffin, he didn't go to college, right? And Jack
he's only
Caglione
20.
did.
Jack Caglione's like 23. There's a difference between it. But like that idea of 9 for 140 and you lock up Jack Caglione from 23 to 33, hell yeah. Like 32, you get a huge chunk of it. Plus you got 3 more years of Bobby. Like if you're the Royals, you have problems, but don't try to solve some of the problems now so you're not also trying to remedy that, That is one thing that you could just take off your plate. Move on. And they don't have anybody under contract for that length of time anyway. And let's be honest, if Bobby were to ever leave, who would be the next likeliest mantle for face of the franchise? It'd be very quickly Jack Caglione, wouldn't it? If 3 years from now, Bobby Witt Jr. is gone, Jack Caglione is immediately the face of the franchise. At least that's where it's pacing. How about that? We don't know for sure.
And from a leadership end, I think Carter Jensen and Jack Caglione are the leaders of the team. I mean, we've talked about this. Bobby Witt Jr., of course, is the face of the franchise. But we've discussed the way he leads is he's not going to be the vocal guy. That's just not his personality.
He's just going to work harder than everybody.
You can't fake it. That's just not him. That's fine. So you have to have other guys in the clubhouse that can be the vocal guy. Vinny has been that at times, but he's been hurt this year and not performing, and so that's tough to be that guy. And we saw him do it in the WBC. That didn't translate to this year. And I think right now, given the age of some of these guys and the future of what this core looks like, Carter Jensen and Jack Caglione, they're going to be the vocal leaders of this team moving forward.
Do you think if we're mentioning Jack Caglione, they're probably, if they internally have asked that question, which I know they have, because if we're asking on this show, the Royals have definitely internally asked the question of should we offer Jack Caglione a contract extension? You could make the same argument for Carter, couldn't you? The only difference with Carter
I would just wait till the offseason anyway. There's no reason to rush out and do it right this second.
No. I just think it's one of those things that you start getting out in front of their representation now. And this goes back to the same problem, which is they might not be able to talk to their representation as of December 1st or wherever the
you got to know what the future of the league looks
ends or whatever.
Yeah, find out what the future of the league looks like. What's the contract length? What's any other elements to it that might make it beneficial to sign for the player too? That's another reason why. Same way for him. If you're Jack Caglione,
you want to free agency faster.
You want to know what the future of the CBA looks like for players in their 5th year or 6th year or whatever the changes, if there are any.
It's part of the reason I want them to do it now. Like when you're saying there's no rush, this is one of those times where I'd say maybe there is, because the CBA could go one of two ways to help you, but let's just say they get any kind of floor or any kind of cap put in place, which I'm not confident they will, but on the off chance they do, a lot of these other contracts are going to be grandfathered in. So just get the number on the books.
But again,
in a lot of ways. But no, it takes 2 ways. Yeah. It absolutely doesn't. Look, Connor Griffin, it's not like his agent's stupid. He was thinking about that before the season started too.
For sure.
Because the players are asking for getting to free agency a year earlier, and Major League Baseball reportedly will give them that if it works the way the NBA does, which as a hometown team, I can give you the contract that's worth more money than other people, and I can buy, the MLB's most recent proposal is you buy the additional, or PA's is you buy the additional year of control with the top 150 paid players at that position's average. And I was like, 150? That's quite an exchange off of the franchise tag. 150? What's the 150th best shortstop make? Nothing? Peanuts? It can't be that much, man, can it? That is so far down. Maybe it's top 150 paid players.
It can't be top 50.
It might be just total.
There's not even 100. There's not 150 shortstops at the big leagues level. There's only.
But it's 150.
No team's carrying in the league. Carrying 3 or 4 shortstops.
But it's still insane. What's the 150th player in the league make? 8 million? 6?
Yeah, I don't know.
4? I mean, it could be any number, at least in that hypothetical. It's just a conversation. I'd put a paper in front of him, or at least I'd ask him, is this a conversation you're crew is even willing to have. We'll see whether or not that actually comes to fruition, but something at least I'd entertain.
Coming up in 10 minutes, we'll get to the trash of the day, but let's get back into soccer. USA, now Belgium. We know that's the matchup on Monday night. I believe it's at 7 o'clock as well, if I'm not mistaken. That is the next round for the U.S., and they are slight favorites, despite not having one of their best players, their best striker perhaps, available with the red card. We talked about that earlier. We'll get back into the story behind that and how VAR flat out messed up and did not follow proper protocols, and that there's no recourse to take if you are USA Soccer.
The only current recourse is he can face more discipline by going to this hearing, although I don't think that anything's gonna happen.
Just like if you like punch somebody and they can add an extra game or two or something. That's more for strong, not to get rid of the red card or get rid of the suspension or anything like that. But anyway, I'll admit, I thought for a second before the match started, we were about to get lucky. And not that Senegal is bad, but just you would rather play Senegal than Belgium. And Belgium was down 2-0 in the 80-something minute, and they come all the way back, tie it up, and they win it in extra time. And so now we get the chalk matchup. We were going through this earlier in the week about the potential path, USA Bosnia, then USA Belgium, most likely USA Spain. Well, so far, chalk has held for the bracket of at least the initial bracket for the United States.
I think if you look at this matchup, what stands up is they are very similar in talent. They're very similar in rankings. Obviously, the U.S. was without one of their top strikers, so that matters. I think the single biggest reason why the U.S. is a slight, and I do mean like the slightest conceivable favorite you can be, as in these two teams are, last night it was minus 116 and minus 110. So essentially giving you the same odds for either of the two teams to win. I think it's because the U.S. has looked good in this World Cup, and Belgium seems like they've been flirting with disaster for a decent chunk of it. Drew, you've watched them maybe as much as me. I don't think, other than maybe one of their 4 matches, has Belgium looked like one of the top teams in the world. They have looked inconsistent. They have looked off balance for a huge chunk of it. Obviously, they looked awesome at the end of that Senegal game. And by the way, that penalty was the right call, even though somebody compared it, and this is a great comp. That penalty is the right call, but I think the reason why people don't like it is because at that moment of the game, you kind of hate it. Someone said it's like the James Bradbury hold in the Super Bowl. It's the right call, but nobody feels good about it.
It's a brutal way to lose.
Yeah, it's a brutal way but it is the right call.
Yeah.
So like that part always, like Belgium's just never looked consistent to me at any point this tournament.
They looked like the Belgium that we expect, I think, against New Zealand, obviously, when they won 5-1, but I don't think you can look at I don't think you can compare their run to what the U.S. has had and say, see, the U.S. is better than Belgium is because Iran is better than Paraguay, is better than some of the other teams in the U.S.'s group. Egypt is on par with Turkey. The group that Belgium went through was tougher, I would say, than the U.S.'s group. That's not to say that, again, that Belgium is definitively better, but they looked like the way that we thought they would look against New Zealand, and they obviously look really prolific late in the stretch. Romelu Lukaku is the reason that they've been
He's incredible, yeah.
And he's been coming off the bench because the injury stuff. On paper, Belgium is the better team. I don't know. I don't know if there's much argument against that. They're players that are stars that tend to be older with
I think they're
Yuri
about the
Tielemans
same
and Kevin De Bruyne. Lukaku's old. They have one of the best goalkeepers in the world. Belgium does in Thibaut Courtois. So on paper, Belgium's better, but in terms of all of their stars being older, I think that's where the difference is, at least in the U.S. compared to the Belgium side. That's why Belgium's ranked top 10 in the world and the U.S. is not.
Do we know whether or not Lukaku's going to start in this match? Because they thought that he might be healthier as the tournament went on, right? Or is he going to have to come off the bench again?
He played more. I think he played the entire second half of the match against Senegal because their starting striker picked up a knock of some kind and was like, look, I'm not going to play, or I'm not able to play, or whatever the case is. Based on how they've looked, Romelu Lukaku, if he's fit to go full 90, I don't see why you wouldn't start him if you're Belgium. But I do think that they're not, from a strategic standpoint, if it's 1-1 and you put a fresh legs Romelu Lukaku in the 60th minute, he's going to cause some problems for the last 30 minutes and more if they go into extra time. So I don't know if there's some strategy in that where Belgium's like, you know what, we're going to keep him on the bench and have him as a super sub that comes in and just changes the game like he has this entire tournament.
Other than that New Zealand match, and they got rocked this entire tournament, I will say that it's not like they've been some like goal-scoring threat Gold. Like this idea that at least you're not getting one of the teams who's just been, like France, ripping goals left and right, constant and like how you going to keep up without the match you thought you were going to have to get. So here it is. They'd face Spain in the next one if they won this
Assuming Spain handles their business, yep.
Yeah, who's Spain got?
Austria today.
2 o'clock, right? Mm-hmm. Tell you what, having to go from Belgium and then facing Yamal, that feels
It's not the round of 16
matchup. This is their round of 32.
Yeah, so they still have another one to go before they would play.
Oh, so they'd have to take care of business.
The U.S. is a day ahead of
That's right.
Mm-hmm. Our scoreboard updates brought to you by Surfside. We can take a look at our scoreboard updates brought to you by Surfside. We can take a look at the full slate of action today real quick. We'll run through it. Overall, you guys already mentioned Spain, Austria. That's at 2 o'clock. That's out in Inglewood at SoFi. And then at 6 tonight is Portugal, Croatia. That's over in Toronto. And then also up in Canada in Vancouver. A late start tonight. Switzerland and Algeria. That's at 10 p.m. And that's one where the Swiss are minus 130, I think. So Algeria absolutely in play potentially to get a slight upset. We'll see. Algeria has already left their base camp at Lawrence, but still, why not root for them a little bit?
No, you're still rooting for them. I know that because like the base camps are meant for these pool play games anyway. I'm rooting for any of the if it's not against the U.S., I want the teams who stayed in Kansas City to have success.
Mm-hmm.
Although the end of that UK game with Harry Kane going off in the 75th and 85th minute was kind of wild, but
England was in trouble until they weren't in trouble, and Harry Kane just took over.
Harry now has more World Cup goals than Pele does.
Jeez.
Harry Kane has been incredible. Like, if we're talking about player performances, it's been Messi, Mbappe, Harry Kane.
Yeah, Mbappe though, 18 goals in 18 World Cup matches is crazy.
He's going to shatter Messi's record.
Yes, he has the same. He's only like a couple goals short of Messi, isn't he?
He will shatter Messi's record for most goals in a World Cup,
which is insane because we know how good.
You see the pricing already for the next U.S. the round of 16 game on Monday in Seattle against Belgium.
No,
so it's now over 2,500 on TickPick. The price went up $700 since it's now official that the U.S. is in it. The average price is over $6,100, the most expensive ticket for a U.S. men's national team match.
That's not surprising. They're at home. And again, I genuinely think you can make a very strong argument. This is the single most important match the U.S. men's national team's ever played.
It's a rematch of 2014 when they lost to Belgium.
Yeah. That's what sucks so much about the Balogun stuff, which I know we'll talk about at noon, but that's what sucks so bad about it. Is that part of it taking place just makes it.
Shout out to Chris Wondolowski, who missed a point-blank goal to win it. Him and the goalie, and he skied it over the bar. Embarrassing.
That is always.
And then they lost in extra time.
Like some of it is like I understand how sports work, but when I watch a guy who's played professional soccer his entire life and is on a World Cup team, just like airmail one on like a PK, I'm like, the hell happened?
It's still
there,
a mental game too, man.
I was like, what the hell happened there?
Still a mental game. Pressure
I know,
gets
but like
to
when
you.
it's like 10 feet over the net, I'm like, the hell happened?
Why does a field goal kicker shank one randomly?
Yeah, it's true.
I mean,
it just feels like that's even more controlled than a field. Something else could go wrong in a field goal kicker. The ball,
the whole
moves.
operation and everything.
Yes.
Yeah,
the ball moves and everything. Yeah. Ball's sitting still.
Also, I'm not saying Chris Wondolowski was bad. He played in the MLS his whole career, and Jurgen Klinsmann got fired for essentially saying the MLS stinks and players need to go overseas if they want to be any good. Got fired. Guess what's happened? Players went overseas, and now all of a sudden the U.S. looks really good, and they actually can control a game and not have to be reactive. They can be proactive. Jurgen Klinsmann was absolutely right.
Maybe you can bet on it next year, Drew. I already got a new garage sale lineup for next year. It's an MLS, like an old school MLS.
When it was like the green logo.
Like the green logo, signed by Tony Miola.
Yeah, former goalkeeper for the Wizards. Logo. Yeah, back in the day, MLS it was like a black and had like they basically had like the grass in the logo.
You might not
it was like
even
green
remember the logo.
Like it was one of the original MLS logos.
Is your parlay dead? Oh, Pulisic didn't score.
Yeah,
tough.
Had the first couple legs. All right, let's get to it.
Trash of the day.
People saying also, Cody, what you just described is like free throws. How do people miss free throws? They're standing still.
I know, but like, to me, that's harder. I don't know why it is. It just feels like there's less variant, or there's more variance in that, I guess.
All right, trash of the day. This one's a doozy. This is a Florida woman, so we go to Florida again, of course. And let's just say police were surprised to find out what she had on her and where.
Employees at the Brevard County Jail got quite the surprise while they were processing a woman into the jail. I'm going to try to be careful with
I hope there are no kids in the
how I
room.
choose my language
just what I want to
here.
say about this
This is
story.
Reagan Cox. Deputies arrested her over the weekend for resisting an officer without violence. Happened during a traffic stop. But when she walked through the scanner, the sheriff's office says an abnormality was picked up in what they described as a lower region. They took her to a changing area where they say she was trying to cover her
It wasn't her foot.
backside with her hand. When she moved it, the sheriff's office says a bag of cocaine fell to the floor. She told deputies she didn't know anything about drugs. Someone may have put it there during an intimate encounter. Cox was also now facing introducing contraband to a detention facility charge. Ginger, I'm going to let you comment on this story.
Please keep reading to the next
After
piece.
the you sure you don't have anything you want to add?
Nothing to add. We covered that fully.
So listen,
we covered that fully. He's really trying to dance around the idea that lady just had some cocaine.
She's got cocaine up there, and her reason for it is, I was maybe having sex, and it during an encounter just ended up there naturally. Yeah,
that's a weird excuse. Because I don't think that's part of anyone's routine.
Yeah.
Bold, new, different level of excuse, but getting processed knowing that you're already in that position.
Do you think does that explain why they said it was a traffic stop? She resisted arrest non-violently. Do you think she was so antsy and stuff because she knew that she had this cocaine shoved up there, and so then she was worried that?
At that point, there's nothing you can do other than ask, can I use the restroom before we...
They don't. I don't think that's how that works. They would follow you in there. I don't think that's how that works for this very reason.
You don't think they'd,
I mean, she wasn't going to, in front of the officer, just go reach down her pants and pull out a bag of cocaine.
I would think not. But saying that maybe it happened
someone's
during a sexual
asking,
encounter
which that'd be
crazy.
text line for those asking, backdoor for those asking. Yeah. Text line was
I guess the reporter wasn't very clear as he just kept saying
he said in the behind.
Yeah, but he was being so weird about it, you couldn't pick up all the details, He made the co-host very
Someone says, is that how they make cocaine into crack? Okay.
It reminded me of the Wheel of Fortune answer. I don't know if you guys have heard that.
No, I have not. Do you want to recite it for us?
Oh, I pulled it up. I can
okay,
play
go
it,
for it. Go for it.
Tavares, right in the butt.
Legitimately, it was an answer on Wheel of Fortune.
Sir, do you really think that that's what the Wheel of Fortune clue is going to be?
I should have played the lady's reaction. The lady next to him was like, what? She was disgusted.
I just I love her. It just happened. At that point, you're already caught. There's no reason to at that point, you're already screwed. To then be like, it just ended up there
they
during
don't really
sex.
care the excuse, it's in there. So you're already in trouble.
They really don't care
Instead, you
about
came
the
up with a
excuse.
reason. It just happened to wind up there while I was having sex. Okay.
I think that's just one of those that you just...
Cool story, bro. It doesn't matter.
You just say nothing. You'd be like, is this yours? Well, I think it kind of has to be.
How did this end up there?
In this circumstance.
So shocked. I didn't know. I was walking around all day with it. I had no idea.
Also, like that was the excuse to get her out of it. It's like, this is this is the reason.
I'm going to let you off with a warning for that butt cocaine now. You know what? That's a great point. Who amongst us?
Yeah, I can't believe somebody put it there.
Without your permission? That's crazy. I'll make sure that this gets disposed of properly. You have a nice evening, ma'am. What's the end result of them even believing the lie?
That's nasty anyway.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's pretty bad. That's pretty bad.
Luckily, it was the Ziploc bag didn't leak or whatever,
Where was this in Florida again?
Mm-hmm.
Always in Florida. Which part of Florida for this one?
That's a good question.
Florida gets such a bad rap. I've never experienced anything like this in my time in Florida.
It just says a 30-year-old Brevard County, Drew. Do you know where that is?
Brevard?
Yeah.
Like
B-R-E-V-A-R-D County, Florida.
Brevard County? I think it's
Brevard County?
Is that like a Miami or like Melbourne area?
Where does it say it's? Where in Florida, Cody?
It is on the eastern edge central. So it's coastal eastern edge.
Melbourne,
middle.
just east of, it's just straight east of Orlando. It's not south enough to be Miami or Fort Lauderdale or anything like that.
The baggie had 3.8 grams of cocaine.
Man, that's a lot of.
Is it?
I mean,
Drew was quick to acknowledge
3.8 grams is a lot, isn't it?
Is it? I think it sounds like. I don't know. This is not my my area of expertise.
It's not mine
Will the
either.
internet tell me what 1 gram typically goes for? A gram? It's not. Maybe it's not as much as I thought. Depending on the purity, a gram could go for between 90 to 150, according to. In the same county. There was a traffic stop 3 weeks earlier that someone drove into a ditch and attempted to discard 29 grams of cocaine. That sounds like a lot.
That sounds 29
double-digit
29 does sound like a lot.
Yeah.
You know? That's the trash show today. Someone says, I thought you guys don't kink shame on this show. Well, when it comes to putting cocaine up there, we draw the line there.
Sometimes there are lines.
And what a waste.
I just don't think that's what was going on.
Also seems like a giant waste of the product, if that's what you were actually trying to do. Seems like a bad place to store it. Up next, let's get to the Chiefs Red Half Hour. There's a wedding tomorrow, reportedly. Cody's not invited, even though he wishes he was. We'll find out some more details next.
Cody and Gold, brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com. Follow the station on Instagram for ticket giveaways and behind-the-scenes content from the show at The Fan 965.
The FIFA World Cup is entering its biggest matches, and there's no better place to be than on Kalshi, America's #1 prediction market platform. Over on Kalshi, you can figure out which version of those matchups you like. And so, for instance, we were just talking about the U.S., right? Like, what are their odds? They're going to work their way past Belgium. Over on Kalshi, it's trading at almost 50%. So pretty much they're saying, right there, which means a $100 trade could net you around $200 over there over on Kalshi if you're able to pick the correct winner. On Kalshi, you're trading against peers in a live market, meaning there is no house, and as probability changes, you can buy in and out of your position as well. And for a limited time, download the Kalshi app and use promo code TAPP, T-A-P-P, to get $10 when you trade 10. K-A-L-S-H-I, Kalshi. Trade the beautiful game. 18 plus only. Restrictions and eligibility requirements apply. Event contract involves risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Prices, values, and available markets may differ for those mentioned. For more information, see kalshi.com/regulatory.
That wreck really took everything off track. Can't work, can't help with the kids. The bills are stacking up.
Then stop waiting. Call the Car Crash Kings, SWL Injury Law. Car crashes, that's what they do.
Yeah?
Yeah, they go to work so you can get your life back and get paid what you're owed.
Don't get pushed around. Visit us at SWL Injury Law today for your free consultation. We're the Car Crash Kings. It's what we do.
Visit SWLinjurylaw.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Hi, I'm Carter. And I'm Charlie. We'd like to share a quick story about a homeowner named Jack.
Jack had a home he needed to sell fast.
And Jack thought he had it all figured out.
So Jack talked to multiple cash buyers.
Jack chose the highest offer.
But the day before closing, guess what? The buyer backed out,
leaving Jack with the moving truck all packed in the driveway and not sure what to do.
Jack learned the hard way that the highest offer isn't always the right offer.
Jack got suckered.
Make sure you aren't hung out to dry.
Call our dad at Rex Buys KC.
Our dad is local, he knows Kansas City, and he actually closes deals.
No repairs, no fees, no showings, no surprises.
Just a fair cash offer and a smooth process.
Now, don't be like Jack.
Call 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com.
Rex Buys KC, helping people make smart choices one home at a time.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance. And now we're customizing this rush hour ad to keep you calm, which could help your driving. And science says therapy is great for a healthy mindset. So enjoy this 14-second session on us. I think you've done everything right and absolutely nothing wrong. In fact, anything that hasn't gone your way could probably be blamed on your father not being emotionally available because his father wasn't emotionally available, and so on. And now that you're calm and healing, you're probably driving better too.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/team. That's ZipRecruiter.com/team.
ZipRecruiter. Fresh paint inside, fresh flowers outside. Summer at your house is looking good. During July 4th deals at Lowe's, buy one, get one free. Select interior paint via mail-in rebate. Plus, get 2 1.5-gallon red, white, and blue annual hanging baskets for just $15. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 7/8. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. See store at Lowe's.com for details and requirements. Excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
New Game Plus with Oxy makes your laundry smell incredible and fights stubborn smells, like the ones your dog Biscuit brought into your freshly made bed last night. But you wash that all away with Game, and now you're drifting asleep to the scent and sound of waves. Ah, nope, that's the dog licking your ear.
Biscuit.
It just might be our greatest scent ever, now with odor fighting power. New Game Plus with Oxy.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for buying gas. That's right. You can earn cash back with Upside just for buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside, and just last year, I made nearly $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get cash back? If you like extra cash, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back when you fill your tank. Use promo code FRESH to get an extra 35 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code FRESH for a 35 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code FRESH for a 35 cents per gallon bonus.
This report is brought to you by Rawhide Harley Davidson.
No payments until next year at Rawhide Harley on any new Harley this week. Annual percentage rates such as 2.99% and no payments until next year on any new Harley at Rawhide Harley now through Sunday.
No payments for 7 months with approved credit.
Hey guys, it's Rob Brennan from The Drive on 96.5 The Fan. We're excited to launch Beyond the Pitch KC, a limited podcast series documenting the run-up to the World Cup with our friends at 98.1 KMBZ.
And I'm Scott Parks from Dana and Parks. This is about Kansas City, not about soccer. Telling the story of how our town ended up hosting the world's biggest sporting event.
New episodes drop every Wednesday starting on March 4th, plus video clips on 96.5 The Fan and KMBZ social channels.
Subscribe to Beyond the Pitch KC on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Welcome in to the Chiefs Red Half Hour. Every day at 11:30 with Cody and Gold on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Chiefs Red Half Hour here on Cody and Gold. You guys can interact with us on the Jays Southland Tow Service text line 913-586-7965. Video stream up and running on YouTube, Twitch, X, and Facebook. We'll get to some of the bigger summer questions around the NFL, according to one publication, and has to do kind of similar to the offseason grading that we got into yesterday. But tomorrow sounds like is a very big day for a couple people and for the pop culture world, and I guess for Chiefs fans as well. As all
Chiefs fans now.
All signs point to Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce getting married tomorrow at Madison Square Garden. I'm sure you've seen the photos and videos of like the preparations around the garden, the barricades that they have around MSG.
Yep.
And the amount of law enforcement that are being used for this event as well. I guess today there was video, I think it was TMZ, had food trucks were like going underground into MSG. Reports are there's going to be like this castle set up on stage, on the floor there at MSG.
And reportedly it's like something tomorrow and then like a 10,000 person thing on the 4th or something. It's like more than one night. It's like a multi-day event.
Well, there was rumblings.
Was one of the rumors that might be the case. I don't know if that actually happened, but the evening tomorrow is expected to be like 1,000 people or something, and then it's supposed to be like 10,000 maybe the next day. What were you going to say?
Yeah, at one point there were rumors that they were going to have like the real wedding last weekend, and then this was just going to be like the one
party,
the one with 10,000 or with 1,000 people. But who knows? I saw TMZ had a photo of George Kittle at an airport with clearly a suit bag behind him or whatever. So he's making his way out to New York. Eventually, I know they're doing this for security reasons and paparazzi. Somebody we'll have photos at some point. I don't know if they're going to
threatening a lot of their friends with the privacy of this event.
Right.
Eventually, somebody will release it.
I don't know. For all we know, they signed a $10 million deal with People Magazine. They get the exclusive photos. I have no idea. But you're not going to be able to get if it was an outdoor wedding, they would have had the drones above the wedding site the whole time, and it would have been ridiculous.
I mean, if you could have paid, if people would pay you $10 million and just covered the cost of the wedding, why wouldn't you do it? You know?
Oh, for sure.
Like it makes sense for you. Bobby Wood Jr. had people at his wedding, didn't he?
Yeah, the Whataburger stuff. Whataburger also had he had a Whataburger like food.
It's called Whataburger.
Yeah, genius.
When it was there at that thing. Look, they're gonna get this. It's so funny to me because if you go back to the very first, I remember specifically, the rumors were maybe they were dating, and then we were all blowing up each other's phones because she was at the Chiefs game, and we're like, oh man, this is going to be the entire show tomorrow. The fact that Taylor Swift showed up to watch Travis Kelce play football. Then we had to like combat all of the, it's a
conspiracy
publicity
theories.
Relationship. It's not real.
Our guy Paul Charchian.
It's all for show. I was like, they're getting married at Madison Square Garden tomorrow. They were clearly actually together.
Our guy Paul Charchian was conspiracy theory. There was NFL reporters that in other markets that thought, it was just this PR thing for the NFL to get more female fans and all this stuff. And fast forward, 3 years later? Has it been 3 years?
It's been a number of years.
And
what was that
we were
first game?
going through
married.
her album, and we were there's a drop, I guess, because we were reading off songs, and one of the songs was titled "But Daddy, I Love Him." Number 6. Yeah.
I did a song for both of them.
We were talking about her album release being in like the little Easter eggs that could be in it. Like we were all into it.
September of 2023 was the first game that she attended.
Basically 3 years.
So it's been.
Has it been that long?
Yeah, dude,
Time
they're in
flies. It's crazy.
But that's how they're power
Feels like it's
couple.
only been
Obviously,
about a year and a half.
No, they've been together a while now.
It's wild.
Someone says that song Timber. No, the song was called Wood, not Timber.
Yeah. Well,
different.
The song was called Wood.
Is even more direct than you were making it out to be.
Someone says, "Can you believe a bracelet started all this?" Travis Kelce was at a concert at
Is that actually how it started?
That's the story they've stuck to.
They've stuck to the story that was he wanted to give her a bracelet, whether he really did or not. He joked about it in the podcast. It got back to Taylor Swift from the podcast.
Then they met each other, and
then they actually got together and went on some dates, and then since then,
because by the time it started to get out about that, he talked about on the podcast. They clearly had already been dating for a couple months. Right? By the time she made it to her first Chiefs game, that might have been that was the first Chiefs game, but they clearly had been dating and talking for quite some time before that. Remember, because she met his mom at that Chiefs game. I think for the first time they said too.
Yeah, I think the bracelet, maybe it wasn't the podcast that kicked it off because it was pretty clear that they, like the way they were joking about it, that it was like really happening there for a while, but it took a long time before like they made it anywhere close to public. It became public when she came to the game. Like people thought that it was true and that the rumors were true that they were dating. We were joking on the show that there were rumors that maybe they were dating. Nobody knew for sure until she showed up at Arrowhead for a Chiefs game. And then people were talking about that she left in that giant like container of luggage so that people didn't know where she was and stuff like that. I will say it is good for the NFL. Like the Taylor Swift effect was very real on the league. I don't know, man. It's just weird. It's still weird to kind of think about at the time. It also happened at a time where Taylor Swift emerged as one of the biggest pop stars on the planet because she was doing a incredibly popular worldwide tour. There was like a cultural phenomena at the time. So like them dating at that time felt weird because she was in the middle of this massive cultural boom herself for this worldwide tour. And then they started dating. So it just became very like bizarre. But I'll tell you right now, Cole, if you got invited tonight, would you get they said tomorrow you can come. Do you get a ticket tonight?
Of course.
You'd be that fast.
I'd cancel the lake weekend.
You'd just be like, can't go to the lake.
If I had an invite to their, of course, because that would just be a ridiculous thing to be at for the rest of your life to say you were there. I mean, it'd just be.
True.
Someone says, Gold, maybe you should start handing out bracelets to random women. That's not what Travis did, though. that's not what he did.
He handed it out to a very specific woman that he was interested in.
Oh man,
Timber is what happens after 55. From the 816.
Well, according to Drew's been trying to
Drew's gonna help you out.
Drew's been trying to help you guys out for a year or so.
Blue Chew Gold.
What?
The new gold standard.
You should have seen. Oh, really? We had Alex Gold right here.
Go for
you
gold.
You should have made him too.
My old radio show was called that.
You should have.
The gold standard when I was on SB Nation. Yeah.
For the longest time, like I had a show in my early radio show called "What's on Tap." It's like people loved the alliteration, or not the alliteration, little play on words. version of it in the early going. Alex almost did a trash of the day a couple days ago on some guy who's trying to save up money on a GoFundMe to get penis surgery.
Oh yeah, we can still get to the 1 o'clock hour.
Wait, what?
In the so in the 1 o'clock hour today, maybe we'll talk about it. Yeah, there's a
we'll treat it like a fan club.
Yeah,
it's a real story. There's a guy that has a GoFundMe. He has he's got the world's smallest penis.
And he's trying to get surgery to remedy that problem.
Yeah, and we got a lot of questions that we can get to in the 1 o'clock hour, perhaps.
I don't know if I want to be a part of that conversation. I'm just going to sit back and hang out.
You'll be fine.
It'll be all right, Drew. It'll be all right. It'll be at 1 o'clock right before a holiday weekend. Perfect time to discuss that. You know, we cover it all on this show. Soccer. We talked tooth fairy earlier. We've talked about cocaine in parts where it shouldn't be, and now apparently we're going to talk about.
Why are you spreading my business on the radio?
Oh man.
Well.
Trying to get you, attention for your GoFundMe. The guy has a GoFundMe.
You can start a GoFundMe for about anything, I guess. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
You sure can. And in this case,
Congratulations, I suppose, to Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce.
Seriously, yeah.
If Cody, you obviously would go. Gold said he would go.
In a millisecond.
I would go, but it wouldn't even be for Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift as much to see who else is going to be there.
Oh, right. Interesting. I mean, but it's only 1,000 people.
Only 1,000 people. That's 1,000 people for a wedding is crazy.
We know it'll be not for someone that famous.
There's a lot of people that have 500 plus person weddings.
That's
if you got big families.
Yeah.
And think about like.
Is her family big though? Like I don't know.
Think about all the people that.
I just think about like your business, like people you've developed, like your tour manager, plus your friends, plus it's like.
I learned last night that certain celebrities live in Kansas City. I had no idea lived here.
Wait, who?
Oh, we found out. Who was it? Travis Scott and somebody.
Travis Scott and Rihanna's kids go to a prep school here, and Rihanna has a house here. Rihanna.
Isn't that one of those rumor ones?
Drew was very excited when he found this out.
Excuse me?
Drew was like, I need to go out more around that area.
He wants to run into Rihanna or Travis Scott?
I think he wants to run into
both
Rihanna.
Would be great. I will say
Rihanna would be better to run into, I would say, than Travis Scott. No?
Yeah.
No?
No, I agree.
Oh.
Beyonce is
that your all-time? Is that your number one?
Is a lot better.
I'm talking about between
Rihanna.
those two. I would choose Beyonce as well. But I thought we were talking about Travis Scott.
I thought he just started to like.
Well,
you could hear him like slip into a daydream.
I do.
He was just like he was slipping into something for a minute. So I didn't know if that was like his number one ride or die. Like any woman in the world was available to Drew.
There's more hemming and hawing between Travis Kelce or between Travis Scott and Rihanna than there would be with Travis Scott and Beyonce.
Someone says it's not Travis Scott. It's A$AP Rocky.
Oh, okay.
No. Rihanna
shot a video here.
Rihanna's with A$AP Rocky, but Travis somebody said last night I was told Travis Scott, so it's not like the both of them because I know A$AP Rocky is with Rihanna.
Well, then it wouldn't be Travis Scott then.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but what if the two have?
It's their kid though. Is that what you're saying? Or
what if the
I don't
two
know their drama.
Separate kids are there? Is what I'm saying.
Oh, I
like,
see.
That was the way that I heard it at least. But if they're talking about the person who's with Rihanna, then yeah, it's A$AP Rocky.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
I don't feel like either of those people live in Kansas City, but you know what?
That's what
that
I
seems
thought.
bizarre to me. That
out of all the places you're going to live in Kansas City, for Rihanna and Travis Scott, and,
I'm not saying zero.
A$AP Rocky.
I mean, it's
but it'd be news to me.
It's a very good prep school, the one that reportedly they go to, but.
This is the Chiefs Red Half Hour, believe it or
sorry
not.
for the distractions.
We were talking about Travis
on
Kelce.
96.5 The Fan is presented by Xfinity. Score the most reliable Wi-Fi. One price, 5 years, guaranteed. Xfinity, imagine that. Let's talk about over at The Athletic. They put together their biggest summer questions in the NFL for every team in the NFL. So we can go through a couple of them here in just a minute. Maybe I'll give you some of the biggest competitors for the Chiefs on that end. But let's start with their question, which I think is just like the overriding question for the rest of Patrick Mahomes' career, not the single biggest question of the summer. Theirs was, do they have enough to help out quarterback Patrick Mahomes? And I think that is the overwhelming question of the last couple of years of Mahomes and the next 5 to 7 years of Mahomes. So making it the biggest summer question isn't crazy for me because the question is Ken Walker alone enough of an addition to the offense to have helped out Patrick Mahomes get them back to being a top 5 offense? The answer is top 5, probably not. Better than they were, Gold? Hell yes. And the fact that they would have a running game for the first time in forever feels like a bigger addition than any wide receiver could have done because I'm sick of him standing back there running for his life, which he did a lot last year, trying to make anything happen versus having a reliable run game. I think they did just enough this offseason to support him, but I wouldn't say they went above and beyond in helping out the offense either. So I'm kind of torn a little.
Yeah, I mean, look, they went out and got the best available explosive playmaker, I would argue, on the free agent market. We think about who ended up truly being available in the wide receiver market. To me, they got the most explosive player to help offense this offseason, other than spending a top 10 draft pick on a wide receiver, right? And seeing if you could have traded up and gotten Carnell Tate or something. Yeah. But if you look at free agency, Breece Hall was never available, so Kenneth Walker was the best running back on the market. You look at the wide receivers, guys like, I didn't want Alec Pierce, but guys like Alec, not for that money. Alec Pierce was never available. He never left Indianapolis. And the rest of the wide receiver class, there were names that we were interested in, but they would not have been, to me, a more explosive playmaker than signing Kenneth Walker.
Agreed.
So I actually think, while we also have acknowledged that we would have liked them to have drafted a wide receiver much higher than they did, and it was way more of a defensive-focused draft, I don't think there were a ton of free agent options that could have been stronger explosive-wise. Maybe in the trade market, I know you wanted Brian Thomas Jr. That would be an argument.
He didn't get traded,
never
so
got
maybe
traded.
he wasn't available.
Right.
And guys like Kyle Pitts, let's just say that he signed an extension, or Devin Achane is another running back we talked about, Zyken Walker, he signed an extension. So, did they do enough this offseason? I think they did about as much as they could, other than the draft. But if we're talking about free agency and trade availability, I think they got it about as far as they could. So, I don't overlook at it. Do you want to know what they said about a couple of the other teams? For the Buffalo Bills, they asked if they figured out how to establish an actual effective pass rush. I actually think the jury's completely out on that. The Bills' pass rush is sneakily the worst of many of the contenders in the AFC. They don't have any. They don't even have.
Is not there either.
They don't have anybody as good as Chris Jones.
Oh no,
they don't even have the top end talent or the base. Rousseau,
Ed Oliver, maybe.
Yeah, it's not a good unit. It's okay, but I'm not going to try to pretend like it's actually a decent unit. For Cincinnati, they asked, will there be another veteran addition on defense, or is this really just a group they're rolling with?
I mean, the group they're rolling with is such a good upgrade, but I mean,
it's better,
why
but
not
it's still
add
short.
More?
They were so bad, Drew. Just adding two guys was not they added two. I think main pieces, but they lost.
They
their
had
biggest
Brian Cook,
piece.
Dexter Lawrence, Boye Mafe.
But they lost.
I don't want to turn this into a Cincinnati crap.
No, I know. I'm just I think that they're.
I'm not going to take it there, but I will defend the team that I root for. They added 6 dudes on defense, at least 4 who are going to be starters for them.
The Broncos question they ask is just how's the Jonathan Cooper situation going to unfold?
He's going to get suspended at some point, right?
He was arrested twice in the span of a week.
There's some sort of suspension coming down at some point for him. Maybe we wait till August to learn. Maybe it's 2 games, guys. Maybe it's 6 games. I don't know. But yeah, that's a fair question. Big piece to that defense in Denver.
And then for the Chargers, it's who starts at left guard. The Chargers' questions are, can they stay healthy at tackle, and do they have guards who can block? They have real questions on the offensive line only because their tackles haven't stayed healthy at all, and their guard play did not get noticeably better this offseason. I don't the Chiefs' question of did they give enough about Mahomes feels less risky, I guess, than some of the other teams that we're talking about. And I like looking at it from who are the Chiefs' main competitors and who are the people and what questions still remain for them. And I don't think the Chiefs' questions are any bigger than a lot of the other teams outside of there. The Broncos' only question, though, is it's kind of like the Rashee Rice. Going into last offseason, the biggest question for the Chiefs is how long is Rashee Rice going to be out for? And can he return to reform if he did? I really do think that was a huge question going into it.
It was. Now, I would say, besides Jonathan Cooper for the Broncos, the other big question is just Bo Nix and his ankle. He had this serious injury that kept him out of the AFC title game.
But it was more minor than Mahomes' surgery.
But he had a setback, report was.
Yeah, he did.
I think he'll be ready week 1. Again, the Chiefs played the Broncos, as we all know. So you got 2 quarterbacks coming off injuries, very different injuries to your point. But I would say one of the questions for the Broncos, other than Jonathan Cooper, would be Bo Nix's health. What's he look like? He had a very good season for Denver. And then the number one element that we almost brought up a year ago, or nationally was brought about the Chiefs, which was the flipping of the 1-score games. So Denver won all these 1-score games last year.
That's a big question for them. That's fair.
How much regression happens? Is it a complete 180 like it was for the Chiefs, or is it they lose 3 more games? They won 14 games last year. I don't think any of us believe the Broncos are winning 14 games this year. That does not mean they can't win the division. I think they still are going to be a problem, but they're not winning 14 games. the Broncos are not getting to that
No.
mark. Neither are the Patriots. I mean, the Patriots won 14 last year.
Any AFC team is getting. I don't know if
maybe
the one seed's getting.
The question is the question is not always like, does the regression come for those teams? It's how far does the regression hit them? Like, we all know when regression is coming for the Patriots, is coming for the Broncos. The question is, how hard does it get you? Are you still the Patriots a 12-win AFC East winner? Or are you a 10-win wild card team and the Bills take the division back
that barely
over?
gets in.
Yeah, the Broncos, the same thing. Are you a 14-win AFC West winner? Or are you a 10-win and the Chiefs take the job back from you and you're just a wild card team? Because the truth is, if either the Patriots or the Broncos fall back to a wild card team, they're not winning the Super Bowl. But if they maintain winning the division and one of them manages to get the 1 seed, well, then they have a chance. They do have a chance. I did see, and I think we'll talk about it later in the week, some of the bold predictions, and lots of sites are putting them out. Benjamin Solak has his out and all these others. One of the ones I saw from a different outlet, not his, the one we'll discuss next week, was that the Texans are going to be in the Super Bowl. And the biggest question of the same article we're talking about, the New York Times, is C.J. Stroud good, essentially? Because if you can answer me the question that C.J. Stroud is at least as good as like Bo Nix was this year, as in he goes back to rookie year C.J. Stroud, he is one of the 15 best quarterbacks in the NFL, not 5 best.
They definitely have a good shot.
The rest of their roster would certainly indicate a chance to go to the Super Bowl, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
That defense is nasty. And they've got some weapons. Like they should be able to do some things. But like I just don't know. Are any of you guys willing to rubber stamp CJ Stroud as the 14th best quarterback?
No,
yes.
You're ready?
As the 14th? Yes.
That's basically saying he's slightly above average. He's probably still that, but we were once talking about him being a top 5, top 10 quarterback.
Yeah.
My question with him is, we said it and it played out this way at times, was the in game, when a mistake happens from him or others, or a player on his team gets injured, he seems to just mentally check out and can't get his composure back.
It looked like he got rattled easily.
He can't get it back under control, and that was a problem for him for the last 2 seasons. And the success of that franchise is all dependent on Stroud. We know the defense is amazing. Miko Ryan's done a great job. C.J. Stroud suddenly has become a massive question for them long term. It's why he hasn't got an extension yet. And they're going to have to make a decision very soon.
So not even they're willing to.
The only thing I'll say in his defense is he has had, I think, some bad offensive coordinators there. And that's the challenge of having for a young quarterback, a defensive-minded head coach. Of course it can work. Drake May had a great year. Mike Vrabel's a defensive-minded head coach. Sam Darnold, I wouldn't call him a young quarterback, but he has a defensive-minded head coach. But he also had Clint Kubiak, a really good offensive coordinator who now is a head coach in Vegas. And so does C.J. Stroud have the right offensive coordinator after having guys like Bobby Slowick and others as the OC?
How good is the offensive line, too? Because I think they've had some problems, at least where maybe to the point of him getting rattled, too, where if he got hit once or twice, he would just get he wouldn't be able to sit in the pocket.
That's why that Tunsil trade was weird at the time,
wasn't
it? Like that Tunsil trade seemed weird at the time when they traded him to Miami. You're like, why are you giving away a good left tackle?
Yeah, I don't know if they addressed offensive line much in free agency or the draft. I can't remember, but it felt like that might be part of it. Where you're right, though, Cody. If he can even be, he didn't even have to be top 10. If he can just be serviceable, like 11th or 12th, that defense will just carry the load.
Yes,
and they'll be able to win 12 games in that division at least if he can be good CJ Stroud, I would say, because the team is built around him so well.
As good as their roster is, it's kind of embarrassing how low their win totals have been. Like it doesn't really make sense. The fact that you're only getting 19 touchdowns and 8 interceptions and 3,000 yards out of C.J. Stroud. And I understand he played only 14 games, so he missed a couple of games. But still, that's it? That's all you managed to cook up was 19 touchdowns and 3,000 yards? Those are Bryce Young numbers. Like, I mean, he's fallen significantly from
Tyler
rookie
Shuck might have had more touchdowns, Cody, last year than 19. Actually, I don't know.
Like you got to find a way to like take a big step forward. It's a huge question for them. Tyler Shuck, he only finished with 10. But he only started in 9 games. He might have had more passing touchdowns per game.
Rattler started the season for the New Orleans Saints. All right, up next, let's get to what's trending them back into the U.S. and the controversy around a red card that has one of the top players for the U.S. not available Monday night against Belgium. We'll get to that right here on Cody and Gold.
What's up, KC? It's Matt Strom from the Kansas City Royals. You're listening to Cody and Gold on your home for Royals baseball, 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com. 96.5 The Fan.
On the biggest soccer stage in the world, FanDuel is changing the game because sometimes your player gets subbed off and your bet goes with him. Not anymore with FanDuel's Super Sub. If your player is subbed out, your bet stays in. That's right. If your player leaves the match, maybe later on today, we got our first match at 2 o'clock this afternoon with Spain and Austria. Your bet continues on with the substitute. So you're still going to be in it until the final whistle. Visit FanDuel.com/local to get started now with the FanDuel Super Sub. Go to FanDuel.com/local to get started now with the FanDuel Super Sub. Let there be goals this summer on FanDuel. FanDuel Sportsbook's the official sportsbook of 96.5 The Fan. 21 in President, Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
It's a lawman, 3-time DUI award-winning attorney in Kansas City. You wanted results? Here you go. First-degree murder charge, dismissed. Felony DUI, dismissed. Felony to misdemeanor, multiple. Felony jury trial, not guilty. Call the lawman, 816-816-9111. Take it away.
The lawman gets results of the law. Call the lawman. Let the fight begin.
Voted by Pitch and Casey Magazine. The choice of a lawyer shouldn't be based on advertisements.
Hi, I'm Jacob, your friend and an actual jeweler craftsman at Shane Company. I'm proud to work for a family business that's been committed to the highest quality standards for nearly 100 years. Your dream engagement ring is designed for quality every step of the way. We set your diamond by hand, not with machines. Prong tips are beautiful and secure, and intricate details are thoughtfully crafted. At Shane Company, there's no shortcuts, just craftsmanship. Because a friend knows true love deserves the highest quality. Visit us in store or at shaneco.com. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
And Doug.
Hot dog! Get your hot dog!
Customize! Customize and save with Liberty Mutual.
Hey, what are you doing?
I like your method. Direct. To the point. A little loud, but...
Listen, people don't buy car insurance the same way they do hot dogs.
Not yet, but both are customizable.
Popcorn! Get your popcorn!
Hey, this is a hot dog area.
And... customize and save area. Get a quote at libertymutual.com or with your local agent.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Performance matters in intimate moments. Don't let ED ruin them. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and I want to assure you that if you're like the vast majority of guys, you don't have to suffer with ED anymore. In fact, you might be pleasantly surprised at how the right treatments could positively impact your love life. At Heartland Men's Health, our advanced medical therapies go far beyond pills. We have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases, and we offer specific and combinative treatments that can dramatically enhance both your performance and your stamina. You could even last up to an hour or more and bring a far greater level of intimacy to both you and the one you love, perhaps performing like you haven't in years. So call us today and find out why our advanced treatment strategies offer so much more. Your first visit is just $99 and gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. Heartland Men's Health, advanced medical science to improve men's lives.
For 250 years, America has been more than a place. It's been a promise, a story of courage, hope, and dreams. And through it all, local TV and radio broadcasters have been there, telling the story of America, bringing truth to light. Broadcasters tell the story of who we are and who we aspire to be. We are America's storytellers. We are broadcasters. This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
I built this business the old-fashioned way. Hard work and a whole lot of spreadsheets.
Yeah, about that, I upgraded us to Odoo. Odoo puts everything we need, sales, inventory, accounting, on one connected platform. No more juggling systems, no more headaches.
So it all works together?
Exactly.
Odoo is the all-in-one business software that makes running and passing on a business easier than ever. Take your business into the next generation. Try Odoo free at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
There's only one Ozempic.
Hello, I'm Ozempic. And I'm other GLP-1s, kind of like him. Ozempic, you redid your jingle? Ah, thanks for noticing. Catchy, right? No. Okay, then. Well, ask your doctor about which FDA-approved uses of me, the Ozempic pen, may be right for you. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and learn more about Ozempic semaglutide injection, 2 milligrams. Only Novo Nordisk makes FDA-approved Ozempic. There's only one Ozempic. I told you it was catchy.
Hey, it's Rob Britton, and now that the tournament has started here in Kansas City, we're keeping you up to date on Beyond the Pitch KC. So subscribe and download today. The podcast is presented by Commerce Bank. Visit commercebank.com/soccer26. Available on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, it's Carter Jensen, and this is your home for Royals baseball, 96.5 The Fan.
KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station. What's trending?
Cheddar, mozzarella, Havarti.
Number one on What's Trending, World Cup action continues today. We'll get to the slate in a second, but of course, more importantly, the U.S. got the win last night against Bosnia 2-0 to advance to take on Belgium Monday night in the round of 16. Of course, we're going to talk about the downside to yesterday, which was they lost one of their best players for the next round, and a controversial red card. Balogun not going to be eligible to play Monday night's match against Belgium. Other World Cup action does start in 2 hours. We've got to wait a little bit today. That's because we got a late start later on at 10 o'clock. But it starts with Spain and Austria out in Inglewood, California. Then it's Portugal, Croatia at 6 from Toronto. And then another one up in Canada in Vancouver, 10 p.m. tonight, Switzerland and Algeria. Those are the three matches. Spain is an interesting one, not only because Jamal is awesome to watch, but if the U.S. were to get past Belgium, the U.S. potentially could meet Spain if Spain continues on their path.
Jamal is expected to start for Spain today. Not that I think that was surprising, but at least it was announced he'll make the start here in a couple of hours from now. Next up on What's Trending, the Royals lost last night to the Rays for zip. Only 6 hits for the Royals in that game last night. Carter Jensen's 20-game hitting streak came to an end as well. The Royals also did just announce Jack Caglione was named their player of the month. He hit like .330 with a 400 on-base percentage and a number of home runs. Waka named their pitcher of the month. Not surprising. They've been two of their better players all year, but they were named the pitcher and hitter for the month.
Elsewhere, we had the news early in the week about Terrion Arnold, the corner, former now Detroit Lion corner, and how he was facing very serious charges of armed robbery and coordinating this effort to get back some stolen goods. And he was released on $1 million bond. And one of the terms, he was allowed to leave his home if it was for Lions practice or a game eventually. Well, the Lions cut him, as you guys know, early in the week. Now his attorney informing the court that he has been contacted by 3 teams. He claims that his client is expected to join another NFL franchise within 30 days. Now, skepticism certainly warranted around that. I think people are wondering, is his attorney claiming this because, remember, one of the terms of the bail was that he would be allowed to leave if it was for an NFL practice.
Yep.
Well, if one of the reasons why he was even granted not having to wear an ankle monitor was because of that as well. And so I'm guessing they're worried that if he doesn't have an NFL team to worry about, then why can't we put an ankle monitor on him? I don't know. But do you really buy that 3 teams could potentially sign his client in 30 days while he's got a $1 million bond and facing these serious allegations,
I believe
life in
about
prison?
as much as I do Chiefsaholics lawyer, that he'll face down the truth of the matter. No, I don't think so. Okay. Next up on What's Trending, a Manhattan judge has granted the alleged Empire State Building climbers supervised release. And they share, I don't know, they were like hanging out at a subway platform. People chased them down, took a bunch of photos of them. But they've been charged or will be charged, I believe, with they've committed a couple of felonies. So we'll see what they actually get charged with.
All kinds of
when
stuff.
it's all done, but they've been at least let go on supervised release for now.
Okay. All right.
They've been unmasked as a part of their hearing.
Yeah. Okay.
So crazy that they went up on top of that. It's
and
nuts.
he proposed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They like the attention, maybe.
You think?
It's a unique proposal story. You got to give them that.
Sure. Fast forward, if they're still together 20 years from now and the legal consequences are done, then it's a funny story, I guess.
I got to say, that relationship is going to be hard to maintain the level of thrill you both seem to like in it. Like, the upping the ante from the, like, endorphin rush part's going to be real tough to maintain in that relationship. I don't think they're going to just like sit around on a Friday night watching some B movie on Hulu. They're going to need to I don't know how they're going to keep that relationship humming, I guess.
Yeah, they both seem completely normal. Nothing odd about the two at all.
No, it's fine.
Lastly, some news in the NHL. Surprising, I think, a little bit because people thought maybe he was going to retire. But Alexander Ovechkin reportedly has agreed to a one-year deal to stay with the Washington Capitals. It'll be year 22 for him, one of the greatest players in hockey history, coming back for one more.
I guess I thought that whole, I know he's going for the goals record, but I thought everybody was treating it like it was his farewell tour, and these are the last two starts for Ovechkin. So I am surprised to see.
He also already does have the goal record. He's at 929. He passed Gretzky.
No, I just remember, but I also thought that this was it. I guess I don't know. 22 seasons. There are very few sports in which that can happen consistently. LeBron's been playing that long in basketball too, which is nuts. And that, but yeah, 22 seasons. It's crazy. They won one Stanley Cup with him so far? Was that 17, 18, something like that?
Yes, sounds
the ones are definitely basketball and hockey. I mean, even Mike Conley is in his 20th season. He's going to be the 14th player in NBA history to have 20 games. Shout out to Mike Conley. Went to my rival high school. I grew up going to Mike Conley high school basketball games.
Nice. All right.
20 years is. I feel like I don't think you could achieve that in baseball.
There are guys who go 20, Nolan Ryan and some others, but I mean,
Juan Soto will probably do that.
He probably will.
If you get up there, yeah.
What do you think? This deal, by the way, is only 1 year's $4.25 million. It's only a $1 million base, which seems really low to me because I'm used to seeing baseball or football contracts. What do you guys think? As that's what's trending here on Cody Gold. What do you think Alexander Ovechkin's career earnings are? We know he's one of the 5 best players to play the sport.
22 years.
22 years.
Okay, so
how much do you think he earned as one of the? You have to assume for a stretch he's one of the highest earners.
I'll go ahead and say so. Just at bare minimum, he earned at least $10 million a year, and that's low. So that's that's $220 million. It's higher than that. I'll go 289.
Okay, Drew.
I'm going to give you a surprising number: 164.
170.
That's hockey contracts.
Hockey contracts are so low. I guess
what a broke hockey player. What a broke person only making.
He only made over $10 million. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 was his base.
I knew the hockey contracts were low on the low end anyway, so I kind of already knew where we were going with it.
That's my lack of
hockey knowledge. Are you kidding me? You just mentioned Mike Conley. Mike Conley's probably made $450 million in his career.
No, not that much. But I wouldn't be surprised if he's made at least 125, 130 million.
I named Mike Conley's number. He's made $295 million.
Let's go.
He's made $295.
He's made almost $300 million. He's just some
Shout out to
dude
the NBA,
in the
man.
NBA.
Shout out to the NBA.
4th overall pick.
Ovechkin's one of the single greatest players to ever play the sport. He's made $120 million less than Mike Conley.
The NHL doesn't have the TV contracts, this dollar amounts that the NBA and the NFL have, and so the money's just different. I didn't realize it was that drastic. That's crazy. No, $200 million is a hell of a lot of money, but just.
Oh, I'm not saying he's poor.
It's just crazy to think that, though. Yeah.
I'm just trying to think about all time, how many guys in MLB history have earned more than Ovechkin?
I just thought Ovechkin would have averaged at least $10 million a year in his career, but that did not happen. So.
Here's you want to know a couple of the MLB players who have earned more than his $170 million?
Sure.
Xander Bogaerts made more in his career. Matt Kemp. Jacoby Ellsbury. These are all players who earned more than Ovechkin did in his career. Johan Santana, Eric Hosmer has more career earnings than Alexander Ovechkin.
Hang on, you said how much?
170 is what Ovechkin
I think
made.
Walker Kessler, with this contract he just signed with the Lakers, is set to make more money at the end of that 4 years.
Yeah, you're right. By the time it's all done, Walker Kessler's career earnings will be higher than Ovechkin. I know it's sport by sport. It just seems crazy to me. Because European soccer, these guys have all made, the career earnings for Ronaldo are $1 billion, right? Or something. I mean, after he took that Saudi money, it's got to be because he made half of
the soccer money. Also, actually, is egregious. It would be soccer, hockey, and basketball in terms of playing 20 years, but in terms of the money too.
Basketball is because there's less players.
Basketball and soccer are peak.
That's part of it. The most money ever earned career earnings in baseball is A-Rod at 485. But we know
Ohtani's obviously
up to this date.
Yeah.
You and I both know that Ohtani and Soto will pass that, and several other guys will pass that too. But it's just funny to me to look at the
regular
regular named dudes.
Do you want to take a guess at what Lamine Yamal's release clause is?
And he's
I don't have good context.
I mean,
for
he's
this,
18 years old, right? 19 years old.
His base salary is about $21.5
I'll guess
million.
750 million.
His reported
I have no
release
idea.
I bet it's
clause
500, 700 million.
His reported release clause is 1 billion euros.
I was short
with Barcelona.
Well, that's because he's never going. They're not going to release him.
Correct. It is nuts to see some of the soccer contracts. They make like $100,000 a week, which obviously equates to like $52 million or whatever for one season. But that's where some of these guys are at in terms of the money they make.
What was his deal worth? $1 billion? What was his deal worth?
I don't know. I just Googled the contract and it says
essentially
the
that's his
reported
buyout,
release clause of
basically.
that.
He makes $20 million a year right now. He's 18 years old.
If Manchester City wanted to
They
just
have to pay him $1 billion.
Yeah, they'd have to pay. Well. If they just wanted to take him,
and then pay him,
if they wanted to take him,
pay him money.
It's like a coach. It's like trying to hire away a coach. You know, at a college, you got to pay Brian Kelly $50 million to go away, and then you got to.
The transfer price wouldn't be that much, but if they wanted to not have any discussion at all and just take him, it would be €1 billion, which is bonkers.
What's the highest?
What would Mahomes' buyout? What if there was if the NFL had buyouts like that? What would the number be for quarterbacks? Like what would it be for Mahomes and for Burrow?
And a cap league, it's a lot different.
Let's just ignore the cap for a second.
I don't know if it would be $1 billion.
It'd be close.
You would think
the
so.
buyout for Mahomes would have
million.
to at least be $500 million.
Yeah.
Like, it is kind of crazy. Like, Forbes did their list of highest paid soccer players this year, on and off the field. On the field this year, he's made $235 million, Ronaldo. And you're like, because of what they're paying him over there. But he made $65 million off the field.
Wow.
So he made $300 million this year. Messi made $140 million this year, and Mbappe made
You said $235 million is what Ronaldo made?
Mm-hmm.
He makes $4,500,000 in change per week.
Let me hold some there, Ronaldo. You don't need all that. What are you going to do with that? You can't possibly spend that. Just give me a 1 week check. Your 52 weeks you get paid? Let me have one.
He makes $643,000 a day in 2026.
You know what? I actually don't even need a week, Gold. I'll take 1 week. 1 week's pay. A day would probably do it.
A day? Are you kidding me? $640,000?
Yeah, that'd do it.
In a day?
You think?
That's life changing. That'll fix
goodness.
any problem you might have, most people. Let's talk about the match though last night. Obviously the US was the better team. They even scored a goal against them, a man down. And I don't know why they committed that foul. I don't understand what Bosnia was attempting to do there. But they even scored a man down. So they were clearly the better team. They handled the team a way we thought they should. They were in control the entire match. Bosnia tried to lock it down, but it was way too sooner. All these other things like causing problems kind of to go with it. So, fine. The red card is the story of the match because that is a huge problem for them against Belgium. And it's a very soft red card. And I don't understand why VAR was used incorrectly. I also don't understand, while it's not in the rules, Drew, and I'm not arguing that, I don't understand how for a once every 4 years tournament on this stage, there is zero appeals process for something
I had no idea.
Something as serious as a red card that keeps you out of the next match that could prevent you from going to a quarterfinal. I don't understand why there's no appeal process. That doesn't make any sense to me. I don't understand how that.
Or the suggestion would be, okay, you get a red card, okay, you're done for the match, and then after the match, we'll review whether or not it's deemed worthy of a suspension, right? Like that to me,
it can be reversed.
Would be a proper path, at least during the World Cup. And I don't even have as big of an issue. Like it was a soft red card, sure. My problem is that they've acknowledged that the VAR process was done improperly. So, and we've had this in the NFL where somebody makes a mistake in replay review, and we're like, how did replay review determine this? And I understand the official on the field is who makes the final decision. But they acknowledge that VAR made a recommendation to the ref, which is what they're supposed to do, but they did it based on slow motion and replays that are still replays, which is not allowed under their VAR protocol. And so that was...
So why was it... Like, if it's
that recommendation influenced clearly the ref on the field's decision. And so that's a massive problem for the sport and for the World Cup. And then now people have dug into this referee, and he does have a history. He's had to appear, I should say, in front of like the Brazilian parliament going back a couple years ago because of some really questionable red cards, and people were accusing him of match fixing. Now, he clearly was not found guilty of anything because here he is. He's officiating in the World Cup. So clearly it was not enough for anybody to ban him or anything like that, but it does bring questions about that. I don't think anything nefarious was going on. I just think it was a bad no call or a bad red card, and VAR screwed up, and that's unacceptable.
I'm really surprised that he still came to that decision, because they can make the suggestion all they want. They do the same thing with penalties, and officials are like, yeah, there's no penalty here. I don't know how he came to that decision, other than maybe just letting his influence be more from VAR, I suppose. But ultimately, it's the official making the decision. So I know the VAR messed up.
I know, but they're supposed to listen to VAR.
Official,
they're supposed to listen to VAR.
No, I know 100%. But we see VAR happen for penalties, and the official's like, nah, this isn't a penalty on a regular basis, and this isn't even just World Cup stuff. This is just in general. So I still think it's more on the official than it is anything else. I don't know what he saw that made him confirm what VAR was suggesting, because Balogun wasn't looking at the player as he stepped on his calf. I think it was more of an unintentional incident that resulted in an ugly stepping on the foot.
If you freeze frame it, but if you watch the play live,
absolutely a yellow card, 100%. It was a stiff yellow card. It should not have been a red, though.
Stu Holden, so you're going to hear this was the red card and the review, and then you'll hear Stu Holden on the Fox broadcast kind of explain what Drew was mentioning about the criteria of why it should have been a card but not a red.
After review, the number 20 United States Committee says foul.
Yeah, it's going to be a red card.
The final decision is red card.
Wow. When you see the still image like this, it's easy to say that's a red card. And I could see why this will potentially be given. But this is why I like seeing them in real time like this. Look, he doesn't even see Muharemovic coming. He's coming on the outside of him, and he jumps in front. It's a yellow card, absolutely. I don't see that as a red.
Yeah, we were at the Peanut last night. Thanks to those that made it out there. Place was packed, had a good time, and immediately the ref walked out and hadn't reached in his pocket for the card yet. I'm like, are they going to get away with this with no card? And then we all saw the red, and everybody's reaction was just like, you got to be kidding me, because we all knew the consequence for the next match. And at that point in time, remember, it was still only 1-0, and there was 25 minutes or whatever left. We're like, oh my gosh, they're going to have to hang on for dear life just to get a draw. They get luckily the second goal, and so last night ended up not being a problem. Lost in all this because of the red card conversation. Malik Tillman, that free kick goal that he had was absolutely ridiculous. I know you pulled the Spanish call of it too.
There's both of them in there for us.
Okay, let me play the. I don't see the other. Oh, there it is. John Stone. There it is. Okay, I want to play the John Stone call first. That was one of the better free kicks you'll see in this entire tournament.
In saying that, Malik Tillman, he's got class. And so if there's anyone on the field that can do that and float it into that top corner, it's that man.
Look at how Vassal's giving up the entire right side of his goal. Tillman! It's in! Malik Tillman! 2-0 United States!
That took the pressure off, but that was a hell of a shot from Malik Tillman. That was one of the better shots we've seen in this entire World Cup so far, considering it came from a free kick.
I love the fact that Stu Holden before was like, this guy's got class. He's definitely capable of making this. To John Stone saying, the goalkeeper's leaving a bunch of space to his right side, and then you put 2 and 2 together, and then he made it.
I think part of what bothers me about the red card is that he didn't even call a foul. Like he didn't throw any card, Drew, and it goes all the way up to red. It feels like
that does happen for serious incidents where if Flo Balogun if he knew the player was there and still did what he did, it's absolutely a straight red card. But he didn't know he was there, and he was just planting his foot, and it was unintentional. If it's intentional, then you can absolutely go to a straight red. That happens often. And they have been calling straight reds a little bit in this tournament, not for more fouls, more so the covering of the mouth and talking. That's been kind of controversial, but that's happened now, I believe, 2 times that they've given out straight reds for those incidents. But yeah, Malik Tillman buried that, and after that, it was over because he scored at like the 82nd minute, I think, something like that. So, I mean, again, this goes back to the upgrade in quality that we've seen in the last 12 years. Even though like Berhalter was the manager, and now we have what feels like the best manager, most winningest in U.S. men's national team history, like the players collectively are so much better from a talent perspective than they were a decade ago. When you pair everybody up together with all the experience that they're getting in Europe, this is why you're seeing the U.S. be more competitive. That's why people feel like there's a legitimate chance where if they get a good manager, this talent, the team is talented enough to make it to a quarter, to make it to a semi, and be able to challenge and go up against some of those perennial powers.
It's good to know reffing sucks in every sport, you know? So used to complaining about it in football and what is pass interference, because I imagine this is the consistent conversation in soccer, which is, was that a yellow? Was that a red? Did it deserve it? And there are probably very few instances where it's like clear and obvious and nobody debates it. Because, like, you know, there were a couple people in the text that said, that's a red. That's 100% a red card. But I would say a vast majority of people currently say it ain't.
Yeah, but also the difference between this text, someone says, you tell people, guys, on your show not to say anything about the calls in the NFL, stop complaining the game if you're going to complain.
We didn't say it cost them the game.
If you want to score more points, we win. This is not the same circumstance. The player is now not eligible for another game. Right.
Yeah. It impacts the next one more than it does this one.
This is, to me, way different than you thought that they missed a PI call and that's, you know, quote unquote cost the Chiefs a game or whatever. This would be like if there was a roughing the passer penalty and somehow in the NFL we had a system where the next game you automatically got kicked out. And we're like, well, that wasn't roughing the passer. Now Chris Jones is ineligible for the Week 15 game. That doesn't happen in the NFL. This is way different. It has way more damning. It's way more damning to your team's chances. And we're talking about a knockout stage. Not, you know, this is not this would be like in the AFC title game. I'll keep using the roughing the passer. Like somehow NFC title game, and they threw Chris Jones out of the game, and it resulted in missing the Super Bowl next week.
It is crazy, but like typically, and this is all different in the sport. A lot of sports monitor this. Like we've had Draymond come up. We're like, hey, don't get another one. Don't get another tech, or you're going to get suspended a game. And they're just like, no, it's just a common foul. It's fine. Because they don't want their biggest players out of their biggest games. It does sometimes, like I will say, and this is just like as a casual soccer fan, most soccer fans probably don't have an issue with it. In my mind, it should be punishment enough to have to play with 10 men for 30 minutes. Not also lose that player for, like, haven't you punished the team enough by making
that part doesn't bug me.
But also, like, we got to get into the conversation, which is, and we did this when we were talking about a different suspension that happened in the NFL this year. How much of the missed game is enough of the missed game in order to qualify? We talked about that when I thought a guy should have gotten another game in the NFL.
That was the player that spit on Dak Prescott.
Because,
right?
Yeah, and in my opinion, it's like, no, he got kicked out of that game for the infraction, but he still should be punished. Had the game been in the second half, would he have been suspended a game? Like, how much in a time in a red card is it enough of a game to not get punished? And that's always that's the challenge. I understand that that's not like an easy thing to diagnose and that it might be okay. It just didn't feel like it should have been a red card. And now it stinks that they're going to be that. And I am surprised that they are favorites against Belgium, even if it's minor, which we'll talk about later. But it took a little wind out of the sails of what was otherwise an excellent win against Bosnia. They controlled that match from the beginning.
Yep.
Like that wasn't, they weren't like really breaking a sweat. They had the one set piece with a pretty decent save in the center of the net early, and then was there ever a threat from Bosnia other than the final maybe 5 minutes when they were down a man? Was there any other time in which you were worried Bosnia was going to get something going? No. All their other shots were lazy. They were like 50 yards out and just like firing something in there and like praying something would happen. They weren't making actual moves towards the net. Their style of soccer, not fun. That's when soccer gets a bad rap. We talk about like college basketball, Drew. You and I talk about this college football or college basketball. If I said I hate college basketball, nobody can shoot. If I show you the right game, my point is made. I show you the wrong game, you're like, no, not all games are like this. So you're like, I don't like soccer, there's no action. Don't watch Bosnia play. That ain't going to convince you to like it.
By the way, soccer coverage on 96.5 The Fan, presented by Xfinity. Score the most reliable Wi-Fi, one price, 5 years, guaranteed. Xfinity, imagine that. Up next, let's talk briefly about the Royals and whether or not the clock certainly continues to tick on a certain situation. We'll also get to a random question of the day that impacts everybody that's driving around the metro area.
You're listening to Cody and Gold. Tune in for the Chiefs Red Half Hour every day, starting at 11:30 right here on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Hey, good afternoon. It's Bob Fesco, and we're broadcasting live from Freedom Family Fireworks in Lee's Summit today. My man Dusty and I are here until 2 o'clock, and we got the biggest deals of the season. We've got a ton of buy one, get one frees, and the Godfather assortment for just $5.99. We're easily located in Lee's Summit right off of 50 Highway, and we'll be out here until 2 o'clock today at Freedom Family Fireworks. So come on out. If you can't meet us out here, check out Liberty, Pleasant Hill, Cameron, Chillicothe as well. But we're out here in Lee's Summit till 2 o'clock at Freedom Family Fireworks.
Country music superstar Luke Bryan. Live. Word on the Street Tour. July 9th, Morton Amphitheater. With special guests Shane Prophet, Ray Lynn, Lauren Watkins, and DJ Rock. Tickets are on sale now at livenation.com. Don't miss Luke Bryan in concert.
Today's match day preview is presented by Fanatics Sportsbook. Download the Fanatics Sportsbook app today. Winning hits different here. We have a David versus Goliath matchup as Argentina will face Cape Verde in Miami and Colombia will take on Ghana in Kansas City. The defending champions who won all 3 games in group stage will take on Cape Verde, who has been one of the best surprises of the tournament. Argentina is a minus 1,700 favorite to qualify for the next round, and markets are giving them an 87% chance to win the match. Colombia, who won their group over Portugal, will face Ghana. They could be a dangerous team to watch out for, but this game could be tricky. Ghana is plus 330 to qualify for the next round, and after playing England to a draw in group play, they are capable of pulling off the upset. This has been your official Odyssey Sports Match Day preview, brought to you by Fanatics Sportsbook. Winning hits different here. Listen in ahead of each match day for the latest betting insights from Fanatics all tournament long.
The world's biggest soccer tournament is heating up in the U.S., and on Kalshi, you can trade every match from the opening stage all the way to the final. Maybe think about one of the local teams who have been playing. Argentina right now, a $100 trade could see a $590 return if they were to take home the trophy, or maybe even feeling good about the U.S. A $100 trade there could see a $2,037 return. On Kalshi, you're trading against peers in a live market, meaning there is no house. And as that probability changes, you can buy in and out of your position. So you could buy into the U.S. now and then trade out of it later if you're feeling good or bad about it. For a limited time, download the Kalshi app and use code TAPP, T-A-P-P, to get $10 when you trade 10. K-A-L-S-H-I, Kalshi. Trade the beautiful game. 18 plus only. Restrictions and eligibility requirements apply. Event contract trading involves a risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Prices, values, and available markets may differ from those mentioned. For more information, see kalshi.com/regulatory.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/team. That's ZipRecruiter.com/team.
ZipRecruiter. My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Brought to you by
Duke's Real Mayo.
This is the Duke's country song. It's a song about award-winning chefs, yes, chef, and why they choose Duke's Mayo. Get Duke's Mayo in store. It's got twang.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Coming up in about 10 minutes, we'll get to the random question of the day. Then in the 1 o'clock hour, we'll talk more U.S. soccer. We'll also discuss a massive trade in sports and just how uncommon a trade like that is. We'll talk a little bit about the 4th of July, some plans. Let us know what you guys are up to. Are you heading anywhere this weekend? What do you normally do? Are you guys the fireworks constantly shooting off type of neighborhood? What are you doing? Let us know on the J Southland Tow Service text line 913-586-7965.
I drove right through some people shooting fireworks
in
off
your neighborhood.
In my neighborhood, they were just doing like the little volcano ones or
the
whatever.
Fountains. Yeah.
So they were, and I was like,
fun.
I just drove to the other side of the road. I'm like, I'm not gonna stop and wait for this thing to finish.
No, a lot of people texted us or tweeted us photos yesterday. Remember 2 days ago we had the trash of the day of the inflatable Godzilla that was stolen from the fireworks stand. We had 2 or 3 people send us a photo. They drove by and they said, there's a Godzilla that's back up. Now, I don't know if that's a new one because it was still missing as of 2 days ago. So maybe they had maybe they got a new one purchased or whatever. You got to have the inflatable Godzilla. It gets people to go in there. Are you more likely to stop if you see the inflatable?
Yeah, probably, but I haven't purchased fireworks in a really long time.
Okay.
Like, I don't mind if, someone's shooting them off. Or
this year
whatever,
we won't.
I haven't personally purchased them in a very long time. What's the inflation gotten up to on those? What if fireworks run these days?
Yeah, I have not gone to a stand yet this year, so I'm sure everything's gone up. So I'm sure it's gone up a little bit. We'll talk more about it, including what your plans are in just a little bit. But briefly, let's talk about the Royals. We had Jake Eisenberger on the show earlier just talking about the next couple weeks, too, in particular. But also with that, I think a lot of fans, understandably so, it's the question of knowing the expectation and how much time is left on the clock of thinking you have the right people in place. Is there I'll be honest, is there anything that can happen the rest of this year that would get fans, I'm not telling the organization, fans to suddenly change their tune on who's in the right place and managing?
I don't know if they finished 500, I guess, but that ain't going to happen. So.
I don't, this is the challenge that they have. Not only do I think the criticism is more than fair, a lot of fans have completely checked out on not just the season, but have said, hey, that's not the right manager, or that's not the right GM, or that's not the right hitting coach, or that's not the right, I don't think they're saying pitching coach. It's not. Brian Sweeney's been pretty damn good for them, but you get the point. Maybe Vance Wilson. That's not the right third base coach or whatever. Is there anything that can happen? I don't think there is the rest of the year to change people's perception on those individuals. That does not mean they're all getting fired. I'm just saying I think so much is lost already, and so much goodwill, understandably so, is lost among fans with the manager, Matt Quatrero, even if it's not all his fault, which it's not. But you've seen the text line. You've talked to Royals fans as well. Fans are done.
The only way, I think, for this group to convince the majority of fans that everybody in the leadership positions are the right people to be in the leadership positions is to finish this season not as a laughingstock and be left in charge to do a good job next year. Otherwise, it's not going to happen. Now, I will say, tides have turned before because people were ready to tar and feather Ned Yost.
Yeah, people wanted him fired at the All-Star break.
And a number of the players. They were ready to trade Eric Hosmer, fire Ned Yost, get rid of... They were ready to run the whole... Get rid of Dayton, and eventually that happened anyway, but in fairness, after he won a World Series for the team. And so
for sure,
they were ready to take the entire front office and group to the woodshed. So, I'd like to remind fans of that on occasion when you are maybe rushed to. The problem is it doesn't feel particularly rushed because now we are in a 2-year run of underperforming. Last year they underperformed, not by nearly as much as they are this year, but last year was a disappointment based on what I thought were reasonable expectations for the team. I was willing to chalk it up to maybe you were a year ahead of schedule or you weren't that far off, so you're a small market team. Things happen. Sometimes you miss the playoffs. But when you couple it with this year, it's harder to not imagine that last year was a sign of the problems, right? The issues already at play, and now they're coming more to fruition to go with it. So barring them like really putting it together over the next things and these young pitchers showing some real signs of life or some of the other hitters coming around, because I will say they get to hang their hat on Kaggs and Carter Jensen as far as like development goes, but those are the only two things that have gone right this year. And so it's hard to do that. And then you get the bad news that Bubic has gone on the 60-day IL. Cole Reagans may never pitch this year, may never pitch for the Royals again. Bubic may never pitch for the Royals again. Carlos Estevez may never pitch for the Royals again. They legitimately have three guys, Gold, who they really counted on each of the last 3 seasons to do, or 2 seasons to do things for them, or were supposed to do things for them, completely unavailable maybe for their franchise ever again. That's bad. And I'm not saying that's the reason they're bad. You and I have long covered that they were bad before these injuries happened. But what the hell happened there too? That's not helping the right people in charge. Like,
there has to be
misevaluate every injury.
Yeah, there has to be some. Look, some of the guys, Cole Reagans was injury prone when they traded for him, right? They knew about the elbow. They got everything out of him. Chris Bubic has been injury prone throughout his career, unfortunately. But I do think anytime you have this many injuries in a particular season, it should definitely cause you to revisit just everything, right? Like when you have years like this, everything has to be under review and scrutiny. If I'm JJ Picollo, if I'm John Sherman, every aspect of my organization related to the on-field product, I have to do a deep dive in and make sure that I do have the right processes in place, the right people, more importantly, in place. That goes to the strength and conditioning staff, training staff, medical staff, you name it, and find out where has this gone wrong. Nobody's blaming every injury on the medical staff. No, injuries happen, but they've had so many of them. Like that, add that to the list of things I would want to review and make sure we've got the right things going on there.
Look, the entire offseason, and I would hope maybe starting now, is going to be a review of what's going on. Like, why is this going as poorly as it was? And somebody said, why is it? What have they done? What have JJ and Q done to earn endless job security? First off, making it sound like endless job security is making it seem like Q's been in the job for 15 years. JJ, you got a different argument. He started with the club in like 2000 or something.
About 19 years going back to other roles.
2006 or something, and he's been the general manager now for 5 years? So like he's been the main guy in charge for at least a half a decade at this point. Contreras been the manager for what, 2?
This is 3 years into it. He just got a 3-year extension too.
Now, he might not see through the end of that. But like, did he get more time than? And if you're saying,
this is year 4. I'm sorry, year 4.
This is year 4. And if you're saying, well, why did he get more time than the guy before him, Mike Matheny? Which I'll listen.
Well, they made the postseason.
That's it.
They made the postseason.
Mike Matheny got 3 years. So 2020, 21, and 22. He got 3 seasons. He was 165 and 219. So like he had a 430 win percentage. In fairness, Q's got a 452. I'm not here to claim that it's not above 500. It has certainly been a problem. His first year was rough, and he was taking over a not very talented team, but he did make a postseason and was within, a small handful of games of the postseason last year. I'm not saying it's a big win, but that's a lot closer than Matheny ever got. That's why he's been given more of
the concerning
leash.
Thing is
I'm not saying he deserves an endless leash. He doesn't.
The concern
that's
is
why.
Whether it's Q or whoever, they're heading in the wrong direction. You mentioned they were in the postseason.
And that's what happened with Matheny.
They were in the postseason 2 years ago, 86 wins. They won 80 last year, and now they're potentially pacing to lose 97 games or something, 96 games.
I would say that's exactly what happened with Matheny. He had the COVID-shortened season, didn't help anything, but they finished 8 games under 500. Then they were 74 and 88, and you say, well, I don't know, maybe they've got some talent, but it needs to all come together. Then he won 65 games the third year. But here's the truth, is that if this season continues to go, if they finish 25 games under 500, Q might not be the manager anymore. And this endless job security that you're describing might not exist. And so, like, I just want to point out that they haven't offered that. If you mean Rene Francisco and JJ Picollo and Scott Sharp and some of these guys who've been with the Royals organization for the better part of 20 years, I will tell you that almost every organization in baseball have some of those guys. Now, you could say some of those organizations probably win, or certainly win more than the Royals do, and that's fair over the course of the last 20 or 30 years. But they're going to have to do a lot of heavy lifting with the fan base in order to convince them that it is. And look, I'm not sure, right? Like, it's not like I have any kind of confidence that this is the right crew. No doubt. Oh, no, I can't tell you with any certainty right now that it is everybody, the right person in charge. You can question everybody.
Every individual has to be evaluated at the end of the season.
Yes.
Everyone's
going to sit down and Brooks or John's office, who's ever making the final decisions, they got to be like, tell me why you're still the right person for the job.
Yeah, everybody's job absolutely should be under review, if you will, at the end of the year. And we know the biggest names involved in the process, of course, are your manager and your general manager. But no matter what happens the rest of the season, they cannot be across the board. Everybody across the board cannot stick around. That doesn't mean that I'm advocating to fire both the GM and the manager. I'm saying down to positional coaches, hitting coaches, members of the front office, training staff. There cannot just be status quo across the board heading into next season.
No.
And the challenge with next season, we've discussed it, is that we don't know if the season's going to happen on time or not. And so how does that impact your decision making?
Gosh, I felt bad for Bubic. These injuries for Cole Reagan,
his
and Bubic,
bodies continue to fail him. It sucks. But I'll tell you this: when it comes to Bubic, I know Vern. We were talking to him yesterday that because now that he's not going to be tradable because he's going to miss more time. And
does that
prompt him to a 1-year prove-it deal? I'll be honest. I know their rotation for 2027, the situation it looks like it's going to be in.
Good.
I'm ready to kind of just wipe my hands clean. Let him go somewhere else at this point and not deal with this. You can't rely on him, right? You can't rely on him. Even if you tell me it's a 1-year prove-it deal, you slot him in as your 4th starter next year. I can't count on him finishing. The numbers would tell me he's not. He had an amazing All-Star season 2 years ago, right? 2 years ago? Props to him, right?
A year ago.
Was it a year ago?
And you know what? No. The year he was an All-Star, that's even further back. Sorry, I'm getting confused.
2 years ago, wasn't it? Or?
2 years? No, last year. 2025 he was an All-Star.
All right, so last year.
But that's inevitably the problem is, and look, it would stink to see him have success somewhere else. I'm not because I'm rooting against him, but because
I get what you're saying.
You hate to see a player leave the Royals and then not have the success here. But he has been a major league player for the Kansas City Royals for 7 years. He was a starter for a huge majority of that. He has only pitched 522 innings. Like, his last 4 seasons are 50.1 innings and likely no more this season based on the setback. I mean, maybe, but not for a while. 116 innings last year, which was in an all-star year. 30 the year before that, 16 the year before that. And so it's like in the last 4 years, he's pitched 140 innings in 4 years combined as a starter for a decent chunk of that as a starter. As a matter of fact, I think. I don't even know if he showed up as a reliever in many of those games. He was a starter the last 4 years for sure. So it just kind of stinks. They've had the injury bug really beat him to death.
Random question.
For you, Gold. For you, Drew. Text line 913-586-7965. And, of course, over on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook, we live stream the show, interact with you over there. People, if you're ever wanting to be a part of the chat, we read the text line for you. Sometimes that exists over on YouTube or Twitch. You can like and subscribe, pop to the top of your feed, and then have a chance to interact with the show over there as well. Question I have today is related to driving. One thing, if you've ever had anything like this on your car and whether or not you think it's a good idea. As pointed out to us by Dana Wright via email yesterday after the show, it is apparently now illegal to have a frame around your license plate in Kansas. Meaning, if you have one of those license plate frames that somewhat blocks your sticker in some capacity, you could face, and it apparently took place. It started yesterday, by the way, and I didn't even know that it was a thing. You could face up to a $2,500 fine if it is not clearly visible and clearly legible outside of there. Possible jail time ranging from 30 days to 6 months. Yeah. However, law enforcement officers may only issue warnings during the law's first 6 months. For 6 months, you can get a warning.
Yeah, this is crazy.
But then anytime after that, you could be serving next to Rashid Rice.
This is
for having your license plate covered.
So. Yeah, it's a new law that took place on July 1. It was apparently part of a larger Senate bill, which passed with bipartisan support, was signed by the governor, and it was a much bigger bill than just, it wasn't just for this. This was a line item, basically, in the bill, but it makes it unlawful for a license plate frame or other object to block the visibility of a license plate. Cody, it's not just the registration tag, the month of expiration, or the color of the decal. It's if it blocks any bit of the plate number or the name of the state. So if the S on Kansas is slightly the first S, second S, whatever is slightly covered by the black border of your license plate.
Am I covered because I have a Missouri plate?
Yeah.
Can I drive into Kansas with my license plate partially covered and they not pull me over for it?
I do not know if
or
it goes
is it like
by
texting laws and I could get burned depending on the county I'm in?
It's a good question. I don't know if it's by your registration or hey, you're in the state of Kansas, you apply. This applies to you. I don't have anything around.
So they're paying for Arrowhead, the new stadium.
So that's funny. That's funny. That's funny.
$2,500 at a time, baby.
I don't know if this if anybody if you buy a car at Shawnee Mission Ford, right? You go in there, you buy a car,
and they put the little vanity.
They have the little on the around the border, the thin black board that says ShawneeMissionFord.com or whatever, right? That one doesn't cover it. But if it somehow went over the letter K or went over your registration tag sticker or whatever, you could technically be pulled over and fined and this is insane.
This feels a little stop and frisk to me. Like you're pulling me over for that just so you can be like, where are you headed? Had anything to drink? Run a quick warrant check, okay, to see if you got anything. It feels a little like fishing.
I agree.
Doesn't it? It feels a little like I'm going to pull you over for literally the most minor infraction I could possibly think about. And I'm going to do you the favor of not fining you $2,500. Let's go ahead and hand over that license real quick. I'm going to warrant check just to make sure you're squared away. And if not, well, then I got you on the license plate thing. So I guess if you're driving in Kansas, take it off.
I would love to
The random
know.
question I have is, have you ever had one of those on your car? I've never had a license plate frame on my car at any stage of my life. You have a vanity one on the front?
Yeah, that vanity plates are completely different.
Kansas one?
Vanity plates are completely different.
Missouri, I got to have both the front and the back plate. So
this is not saying you can't have your full blown Chiefs arrowhead, on the front of your car thing. This is talking about your normal license plate. If you have the border around it and it covers up too much of the plate, as I said, it was part of a larger bill. I would love to know, and I guess I could look it up. Who brought this to the?
Who thought that this was somebody who really hates vanity license plate?
Who proposed this, and then also what group was behind the push? Because I don't think there was just some random Kansas state senator that decided to propose it. Whose thought process? Who was behind this at all? I would love that.
I like to think that it was just like one of these, I like to think it was one of those ones that are like way more sexual than they should be, Drew. Do you know what I'm talking about? Those like license plate cover. It's like if you're gonna, like the ones that'll say like if you're gonna ride my ass at least, like, or if you're gonna honk your horn or whatever it is, like that nonsense. It feels like somebody saw that and they're like, oh.
And they got offended.
How dare you?
Or like a bumper sticker.
And they were like,
that's a bumper sticker.
And they're like, I'm getting rid of these vanity license plate covers. I can't.
All right, so the original bill.
I can't stand it.
The original bill. This was the original intention of the bill. It was actually that had to do with compliance with the provisions under. It had to do with. I believe this says pheasants, like something with the license plate, a specific license plate. Approval of the director of vehicles to have Pheasants Forever Incorporated authorized to establish 2 distinctive license plates, Pheasants Forever and Quail Forever. So
just so this jerk could have a quail license plate, now I can't put a frame on it?
The initial bill was for stupid. Pheasants Forever, and then somebody added on this aspect of it.
Somebody just hates personalized plates. Somebody said, I'm going to tell my wife she has to take that stupid Tinkerbell one off. I told her it was stupid when she bought it in the first place. Like, I've seen, like, more often than not in Kansas City, because Kansas City is a huge sports town, I see them all the time for the Royals and the Chiefs and Sporting and others.
Yeah, it's tough.
Like, not to mention the dealerships. But now, if you, like, Gold, you send someone over to Shawnee Mission Ford to buy a new car, it's like you almost have to be like, no, don't be sticking that on my car. No, thanks. I don't need, like, because I'll tell you right now, I'm going to be pissed at my dealership if they throw one of those on there and I'm driving around and some guy pulls me over.
Well, now you know the law. Just say that you don't want it on there. But
no, I know. Yeah, absolutely. But it is kind of crazy.
It's BS is what it is. It's absolutely absurd.
I mean, what? How stupid. You know how many people have those on there?
No, look, you can have it on there if it's not covering anything up. You're fine. Like, I guess that's the part of, I guess, just double check, make sure it's not covering up the word Kansas or the sticker that you have for your registration or any part of your license plate. That's crazy. And by the way, people have texted us in, and we just did a quick Google search. It does not matter where your car's registered, Cody. So even you driving across.
So even I could get burned if it was covering in any small amount.
It makes it significantly worse. Somebody's vacationing in Kansas City, or they're driving to Kansas City for a vacation. They cross over.
Or it's got the rental. Some of the rental car ones have those on there. You know, it's like
you can have it. It just can't block. It's so dumb. But you could technically have them. It just you got to make sure that's not the border's not thick enough that it's covering up the important information. Yeah, I think this is crazy. This is something that just snuck through on a line item of a bill about pheasant license plates, and nobody really realized it until it became law yesterday.
I'm surprised you never had one around on that if you have the vanity one on the front. I would have thought at some point you'd just ended up with the... No. They seem like in the same vein? I don't know.
No. I don't have any border on mine. Mine's just the license plate on the car.
Every time I've bought a car, like the couple times I bought a car...
here you go.
And they try to put one on, I'm like, I don't want it.
Someone says they work at a car dealership in town. Starting yesterday, they stopped putting them on.
Okay.
There you go.
It stinks, but it's just like, it kind of is what it is. It's like, you can't
even promote their own business now, unless I guess
they're going to have to get the little stickers on the back or whatever. Yeah.
Someone says it's because of the new tag reading camera technology that they're in. A lot of places are implementing now. It's easier. But again, if it's not, I don't know. That's just crazy to me.
Well, like they're reading your, there's the amount of people who ride around with expired temp tags. Is ridiculous.
Sometimes it's like
at least here more than ever before.
It's the sneaky ones that get you. So like when I bought my new car a couple years ago, they gave me a 60-day temp tag.
Sure.
And so on day like 50, I went to the DMV to get my plates, or 45 or whatever, and I had to pay a late penalty because they said you have to register within 30 days. And I said, well, then why did they give me a 60-day temp tag? Or like in Missouri, you have to register it in 30 days. I'm like, well, then why do they even give me a 60-day one? What benefit is it to me if I still have to register it inside of 30 days? So I had to pay like a $25 late fee because I didn't register within 30 days.
That's weird.
I don't know, man. It's all just like these small little rules that I can't possibly, like, don't speed, got it. Don't text and drive, wear a seatbelt. Like, I understand the ones that help, but like, you need the cameras to do that. Do you guys mark when you see like cops on the Google Maps or whatever?
If it pops up, I do. Yeah, if it pops up, if it says, is there still like an obstruction in the road or whatever, and I'll click, confirm or yes or whatever.
Oh, even if it hasn't popped up yet. If it's like, if I see a cop clocking.
Oh, I don't proactive. So
I proactively.
Mine is more like confirming. Mine is more like I only do it if it's like, hey, is there still an object in the road or a police officer, and I'll hit yes if there still is or whatever. That's all I do.
Cody's doing the Lord's work by warning everybody else. Thank you, Cody.
Cody's doing the Cody's on those sides. Cody's on the side streets and on cruise control going 25.
I'm not getting a ticket. I want to make sure you don't get a ticket.
And Cody's out here reporting it. Drew's out here traveling better without cruise control ever.
I really appreciate you.
My favorite time to warn people about it is when I'm like an hour earlier than everyone getting to St. Joe because of when we have to get there for the show. I see someone clocking like mile marker 45, and you're like, second I get to St. Joe, I'm going to let everybody know that guy's sitting there. Because that's such an easy highway to want to go fast on up to St. Joe. You gotta, trying to help people not get a speeding ticket, Gold. Trying to help you out. If you see one that says, I'll say right now, on my way to Texas, 3 different times it popped up on the map that said, there's a cop up ahead, and they were clocking, and I slowed down before I got past them. So somebody in the map program helped me out.
They were.
Somebody did. Texan bring up a good point. Imagine if you're like Rally House or one of these places that has huge stock of all these license plate cover type things, right? That it says Chiefs, Super Bowl champs, or Jayhawks or Wildcats.
What the hell are you gonna do with them now? They can't be in your car.
In Kansas, basically, you're basically.
I wouldn't risk it.
A lot of them are covering too much of your license plate now.
Even if you think it's not, I wouldn't risk it.
Someone said you're not able to report.
I think they're joking. I don't think that's an actual thing. I think they're saying someone says
no longer report them on Waze.
I'm assuming that's a joke, right?
I have no idea. I don't use Waze that often
use Google
unless
Maps,
it's longer
Google Maps
road trips.
I don't know about Waze. I know that's popular too.
Waze is great. I don't use it unless I'm on like longer road trips.
We know you don't use
normally
cruise
it's very
control.
good.
We learned that.
We don't need to get back.
The random question was either going to be about that or PlayStation like legitimately getting rid of all physical games, which I think stinks.
Yeah, it sucks.
And the new PlayStation's going to be like $1 gajillion. I don't know. It's going to be like $1,500 or something.
It might as well be.
They're saying it's going to cost like $1,000 or $1,500.
I won't be buying any consoles ever again.
That's it?
I don't play my Xbox that much anyway.
I will say, like, the idea
I bought it for the NCAA football game 3 years ago, and I barely play. I mainly use it now as like a stream. I use it as what I have as my centerpiece for my net. I have Netflix and YouTube.
You don't just have
TV.
like a smart TV?
I do, but it's been way easier just to turn on the Xbox and use it for that versus going through the Fire Stick. I kept having issues with the Fire Stick freezing up, and so I said, screw it. I don't use the Fire Stick anymore. I honestly just use the Xbox, and I turn it on, and I go through the menu that way and get to my YouTube TV or whatever.
Somebody said, can you run through one more time? Just a quick recap. Kansas has a new law that started July 1st that if any part of the license plate they don't want obstructed is obstructed by one of those license plate holders, they can pull you over and ticket you. The fine can be up to $2,500 or 30 days in jail, which I don't think they're going to jail anybody. For the next 6 months, they can only give you a warning. So you got until next year to actually take care of it, but they could start pulling you over for it starting today or yesterday, I guess.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So just a heads up. And as we already heard, some of the car dealerships in town are already starting to not
Makes
do
sense.
the frame. Got to. That is the random question of the day. Up next, guys, let's get back into USA, Belgium coming up on Monday night, plus the future of soccer in Kansas City. And a trade happened in the NBA. We'll tie it back into Kansas City a little bit because I don't think we would ever see this happen with these caliber of players in the NFL. That's next.
You're listening to Cody and Gold. Tune in to hear Royals insider Josh Vernier every Wednesday at 12:30. Cody and Gold is brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com. Your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan.
Baseball season is in full swing, and that means the summer heat has fully arrived. It'll be very hot out there throughout the entire 4th of July weekend and for the weeks ahead. How about the guys over at Climate Control, though? Because they have been helping KC homeowners get over this heat for over 35 years. They know how to get your cooling system ready to handle this scorching hot summer weather we're dealing with. You want to stay cool and comfortable this summer, of course, so call Climate Control today. 816-265-2830. 816-265-2830 for all your cooling, heating, and plumbing needs. You don't want to wait. Visit ClimateControlKC.com today. Climate Control, heating, cooling, and plumbing.
Hey, good afternoon. It's Bob Fesco. I'm live out here at Freedom Family Fireworks with my man Dusty. I love the 4th of July. I love fireworks, and I love Freedom Family Fireworks. So easy to find in Lee Summit, just off of 50 Highway, and they've got the biggest deals of the season when it comes to buy one, get one free. And they have the Godfather assortment for just $5.99, plus free kids packs with qualifying purchases. We're out here until 2 o'clock, so come see us today. Get all of your fireworks, get all of your 4th of July needs in Lee Summit at Freedom Family Fireworks.
Point. Hey, you okay? You don't normally miss those shots.
I just haven't been as regular lately, and it's making me feel sluggish.
You should try Metamucil. It's been a game changer for me. Metamucil's plant-based psyllium fiber helps trap and remove the waste that weighs you down. Ace, you're moving better than you were last week.
Definitely.
Metamucil keeps you moving. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Learn more at Metamucil.com.
Honey, did you invite the Minions over?
Well, you know how we talked about getting Wi-Fi from Xfinity?
Yeah.
I ordered it this morning, was online in minutes, then they showed up.
So they just came over to use the Wi-Fi? For what?
Better not to know.
Get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi from Xfinity. Plus, lock in your price for 5 years and see Minions and Monsters only in theaters. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Learn more at xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi.
Our nation's 250th birthday calls for a really big party. And Hy-Vee is here to help with really big savings on everything you need. Load up the grill with tender baby back ribs, just $3.28 a pound. Whole seedless watermelon, only $4.48. Frito-Lay chips for $2. And Pepsi 8-pack bottles or 12-pack cans, just $3.99. Stock up on your favorite beer, wine, and spirits and get the party started. This Wednesday through Sunday, only at Hy-Vee.
Soccer Fever is in Kansas City, and Hy-Vee is your headquarters for official merchandise, apparel, tailgate, and watch party needs. And Hy-Vee makes game day so easy. They have ready-to-go wings, pizza, party trays, charcuterie, and, of course, all those delicious sweet treats. If you're planning a cookout, great. Hy-Vee's special recipe brats, burgers, and steaks are the best. Check out their Match Day Meat Bundle for only $30. And don't forget about Hy-Vee's wine and spirits department. For all of your game day needs, count on Hy-Vee.
Sound familiar? At Mattress Firm, we understand there are many problems that can keep you up at night. like snoring, aches and pains, or sleeping hot. Our sleep experts have the unrivaled know-how to match you with a mattress that can help. And right now, save $500 on Tempur-Breeze mattresses, plus get a $300 instant gift. For the great sleep you deserve, visit Mattress Firm. We make sleep easy. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
Sun's out, so dads are too. This Father's Day at Lowe's, shop the gear that'll make his summer. Get 2 free select DeWalt power tools when you buy a select 5 amp-hour battery kit for weekends in the garage. Plus, get a free Blackstone 6-piece stainless steel griddle kit when you buy a select Blackstone griddle. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 6/24. While supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-358-6868. That's 800-358-6868. Again, 800-358-6868.
Hey, it's Rob Brenton, and now that the tournament has started here in Kansas City, we're keeping you up to date on Beyond the Pitch KC. So subscribe and download today. The podcast is presented by Commerce Bank. Visit commercebank.com/soccer26. Available on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel to watch all your favorite shows, shorts, and clips. This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey Sports Station.
What a clock hour here on a Thursday, basically a Friday, heading into the 4th of July weekend. We'll talk some 4th of July here in just a little bit and what everybody's up to. Some of you have texted in, 913-586-7965. People mentioning, Cody, their summer plans or their weekend plans, I should say, for the 4th a little bit earlier on in the show. A lot of people, of course, you would expect, text again. Someone says, just floating around Lake Jacomo, drinking beers. Someone says, go on their honeymoon today for 2 weeks to Europe. Well, congratulations to you guys.
Wait, you're going to Europe on the 4th of July?
That's what somebody said.
Unbelievable. Nah, I'm kidding. It's all good, man.
Yeah, someone's gonna do that. That sounds like a pretty good couple weeks, man.
Royals maybe made a small move. The Royals player development account, which I follow for
so
the
they
scouting
called
stuff.
up somebody?
It says they signed old friend Scott Barlow to a minor league contract.
Okay, thank you for that update, Cody.
Is that you like to know?
Thank you.
I didn't oversell it. Let's not make it seem like I oversold
man,
it.
thank you so much for that
That's
update.
like Bink saying that the Chiefs signed somebody to the undrafted free agent list.
I don't know. I'll just tell you right now, if the Royals are signing Scott Barlow to a minor league contract, I bet you $100 he pitches this year for the Royals.
Oh well, yes.
So like it's not as bad as you're making it out to be, Drew. I bet he makes a pitch for the Royals.
He will pitch, but also
it did come across.
I think you said, "Oh, well, it looks like we."
I didn't oversell it and say breaking news in the Royals. I just said I got a little something going on here.
A little Royals news here.
I thought they were at least going to like call up somebody. Call up somebody.
There's nobody for them to really call up.
I guess at that point,
Andrew Churio is going to start tomorrow.
Too far down in the system right now. I mean, there's no big call up on the horizon anytime soon, unfortunately. Thank you, Cody. Scott Barlow, old friend, might be coming back one day. Okay.
We'll see if they make it official. That's the Royals player development who sent out that message.
Well, then that's kind of official, right?
Yeah, just weird that. Did they fire off the tweet early, or somebody not?
Because it's not a big deal.
Yeah, because it doesn't matter. Let's talk a little NBA. I know we don't do a ton of that, but it's Thursday, which is essentially Friday for everybody because of the holiday observed tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
So while we don't have drinks in front of us, although probably in the next 4 hours, you and I both will, I imagine, have a drink in front of us as soon as you get to the lake, and not long after I get home, let's say.
Yeah.
So maybe in the next break. Who the hell knows? Maybe I'll just start early. But I watched a decent amount of the NBA. I feel like I got a decent handle on it because I really do like it. I think it's one of the leagues I wish was in Kansas City. For the life of me, I'm curious if the three of us can figure it out. For the life of me, do not understand this Jaylen Brown trade. It makes no sense on any level. I don't understand trading him to your rival. I don't understand the compensation you got back in return. I don't understand why now you are making this move. I can't make sense of it. Other than I saw one headline suggest that they think Peyton Pritchard could take a Jalen Brunson type leap, which I guess I'm not seeing. Is there something that I'm missing? Why did they get so little for Jaylen Brown, and why did they move him?
Well, let me just start with one part of it for the the why now thing. I think we talked about a week or so ago when Giannis did not get traded to Boston and Jaylen Brown consistently in multiple big-time trades over the years has been mentioned. To me, that relationship was fractured. So I'm not saying they had to trade with the Sixers and all that, but as far as I think we all expected him to get moved because of the relationship and the issues that you have with that when you have a star player that was consistently involved in trades and you were willing to move on from. So I think that's why he got traded and why now. I'm with you
Was
on...
that the best offer?
You would like to think you only take the best offer, but I don't know. It sure as heck is not because you were worried about trading him to a division or to a rival, I should say. And the NBA is so different. I thought, for those that don't follow the NBA to relate it here, we can get into the specifics of the NBA factor, but just for those that are listening that maybe don't care about the NBA, the reason why I thought this was so interesting, Cody, is just we don't see this in the NFL. Like we've seen
Not really.
TJ Hawkinson, I got traded from the Lions to the Vikings or whatever. Okay, and he unfortunately has been hurt here recently, but it was a pretty good tight end in the league. This would be like if the Chiefs traded, I don't know, Chris Jones to the Broncos or something.
Maybe when the Eagles traded McNabb to Washington.
If the Chiefs traded Trent McDuffie to the Chargers instead of the LA Rams.
The commander, they were not the Commanders at the time, but Philly traded Donovan McNabb to Washington.
Okay.
That's but he was at the end of his career, and they were definitely done with his ass. So, slightly different than Jaylen Brown's current ability. Jaylen Brown was a Finals MVP 2 years ago, wasn't he?
Yeah. He was in the top 5 for MVP voting.
Yeah, this year, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
I understand, occasionally in the NFL, right? Like Wes Welker went from Miami to the Patriots before his career boom. So I'm not saying it never, ever happens, but Jaylen Brown is one of the 15 best. I mean, I don't know where he ranks, but he's one of the better NBA players. He's in that category, and the idea that he won a championship with you 2 years ago, was an MVP finalist this year, and now you're just shipping him off to Philly for Paul George? You could have honestly, before yesterday, convinced me Paul George was retired, and I might have believed you. He's 40, isn't he?
No,
not 40.
I understand. By NBA standards.
You're obviously exaggerating, but he is, at this point in time in his career towards the back end, he's 36 years old. Just turned 36 last month.
It's not as
2 months ago, I guess.
Not as crazy as I was making it out to be. 40 wasn't as far off as you'd like to think.
He's been dealing with the health issues, too. Hasn't quite been the same player after he broke his leg in that Olympics warm-up.
He's played 37 and 41 games the last 2 years. Hell, he's only played over 70 games one time since 2019.
Yeah, that's about when he broke his leg.
That's the best offer for Jaylen Brown?
I was surprised. There was some reporting that Colin Cowherd had been hearing some stuff, which is anonymous, of course, but it's very disrespectful to Jaylen Brown, I think. Just calling
like what? Yeah.
Well, the report was, I think there was an executive and a scout that said that phrased what he has is a disease, essentially, which is he thinks he's the smartest person in the room.
Gotcha.
And thought he should have been on equal playing field with Jason Tatum. To which I would say,
I mean, he is the smartest person in the room.
Ironically enough,
Jaylen Brown's very smart, isn't he?
Jaylen Brown is definitely the smartest.
Isn't he
person in the
Harvard,
room.
MIT, guest lecturer, super genius NASA
correct.
internship?
Correct.
He is the smartest person in the room. By the way,
he went to Cal Berkeley. He is a very, very smart individual. So
there were rumors,
he actually might be the smartest person in the room.
As you remember, Drew, before I let you finish your thought, coming into the draft, they said part of the reason he got pushed on the draft boards is teams are like, he's too smart. That can't be good for us. They were afraid he was too smart for the NBA, that he wouldn't take the NBA seriously because of how smart he was. So, maybe there's something to that, Drew. But that was some of the draft rumors at the time.
I think it is kind of crazy that he outperformed Jason Tatum in the finals. That's why he won Finals MVP. And then last year, they didn't have Jason Tatum at all. and they still won 56 games. I mean, Jason Tatum was out for a bulk of this, like the first 65 games of the season, and they finished second in the Eastern Conference, mostly because Jaylen Brown was playing so well. And I just wonder if him saying that I think I should be treated as an equal to Jason Tatum, I don't see anything wrong with that, just from the standpoint is that he backed himself up with the numbers that he did. They won with him when Jason Tatum was not there. So I think
they're close enough that there's an argument. It's not like it's not just some random bench player saying that.
No, correct, 100%. Yeah, and Jaylen Brown was picked, I think, third overall or second overall in the draft that he was. So it's not like he's a guy that, it should not be talked about in the same light as Jason Tatum. I just think, to what Gold said about the relationship being fractured, I think, between the Twitch streams and some other stuff, it just feels like, I don't know if the Celtics just got uncomfortable with it, but it felt like Brad Stevens kind of panicked, which is surprising given his history of given the really good moves that he's made as the president of basketball operations with Boston so far. It felt like a really weird trade to make given the compensation that you were getting back, almost like they just wanted to be done with Jaylen Brown, which doesn't make much sense unless they really thought that the locker room chemistry was that far gone that they just needed to take whatever.
It's sometimes like we talk about
great for the Sixers though. And we're talking about the negative side for the Celtics and like what it means. But on the Sixers side, why not? You bought him when the value was clearly lower for Jaylen Brown. A year ago, if we were talking about this, you wouldn't have been able to get this trade done.
Yeah, they gave up a couple of picks in PG. So, I mean, they have a great crew of players the Sixers do. So, yeah, it's a big win for them.
I guess the only downside potentially would be, depending on how the next couple of years goes, his contract, being Jaylen Brown, he's done after the 2028, 2029 season. And so, remember going back to the Bucks trade last week, one of the reported reasons why the Bucks chose the Heat deal instead of Celtics with Brown is they were worried that Jaylen Brown would want out in 2 years as well, and they would be stuck in the same situation as they were with Giannis. Now, I guess it could happen for the Sixers as well if they're not able to be competitive and keep him happy.
But if you think he'll sign a contract there, you're not doing it. I was looking back at some of the quotes. An anonymous NBA assistant GM in the 2016 draft. Well, because he is so smart, he might be intimidating to some teams. He just wants to know why you're doing something instead of just doing it. Old school coaches don't want guys.
I think that's part of his
question stuff. What a quote. Hey, we just want you to be a cog in the machine. Don't be asking why you're a cog. Easy there, cog. You're part of the machine here. Don't stress about why we're doing something.
I think that falls in line kind of from that description to what
they're saying now.
At least Colin Cowherd is hearing, where I do think it is crazy to think about, though.
But he didn't have any trouble being that when they won a title 2 years ago. I guess that's my problem.
I don't understand how Jaylen Brown is he's being really disrespected. I think the commentary around him, I think, is kind of crazy in regards to this, and then his thoughts on the analytics stuff as well that he had talked about here recently. I just think that he's being super disrespected for a player that is the caliber of player that he is. I don't understand why he's being talked about in that regard.
Someone says he's just too overqualified intellectually for the job. I was like, but I don't know. Like, if a coach
That's crazy to think about, but like,
you're too smart for basketball. You'd be thinking about who you're going to pass to.
Now, it would not be the first circumstance, whether it's sports or otherwise, where we've always, like, the bosses, the people in charge, don't want somebody that is more qualified or smarter than them. Like, that's not a sports thing. That has happened in other workplaces before.
Yeah, no, it won't be the last time. That's for sure, and it won't be the last time that a subordinate technically thinks that
they know everything.
But also, like, but this goes back to the same thing. Can Jaylen Brown not have a good idea about, like, whether he's just a regular basketball player or super genius Jaylen Brown? Like, maybe he can't have an idea on sets that maybe you should hypothetically listen to rather than just do everything you say. That doesn't seem all that crazy. But the other part about that, Drew, is that it just feels like one of those things you say to try to make a trade look less bad now, because otherwise, this was never a problem when you were winning a championship or one of the best teams in the East or when he was with you this entire time. It's only a problem now that you want to ship him out.
Yeah, I think it's more.
That's more of different.
The reason they shipped him out has got to be more of a locker room chemistry deal for whatever reason than anything else, and they're just using that as the.
Where did they finish in the East last year?
Second.
How far did they make it in the playoffs?
I think they lost to the Sixers in the first round. They were. I think it was Philly.
Oh, that's right. They did get upset early, didn't they?
I can't remember if it was Philly or not.
But they had the second best record in the East.
Yeah.
And now they're going to try to do that with Paul George.
Yeah, Philly did beat Boston.
Boston's not as. and people were showing the metrics of, well, Paul was actually, in terms of plus minus and all the analytical stuff, ironically enough, that Jaylen Brown was criticizing.
Yeah.
And look, Paul George on the floor, when he's on the floor, might be a solid player still in spurts, but you can't rely on him the way that they could rely on Jaylen Brown. Like, he was a very durable player where Paul George is not, and he's older. It just doesn't make any sense for the long-term outlook of the Celtics, if that makes sense. It's very, very, I don't know, it's a really weird trade, but there's been so many, there's been so much action going on in the NBA with trades and stuff like that, to an extent. If you're Miami, like, they traded for Giannis, but the conversation has kind of been, yeah, you get Giannis, but you got your entire depth on your roster where, yeah, you get the superstar, but your roster is much less deep than it was beforehand. So how are you that much better than you were before, you know?
It's true. So. Let's talk a little bit about the World Cup, and then we'll talk about maybe some more 4th of July plans. You can keep telling us yours, 913-586-7965. Somebody said, I'm just going to blow some stuff up.
That'll be what a lot of people are doing this weekend.
That is sometimes, albeit like a pool or a lake or something, I'm sure at some portion this weekend. I don't know exactly how to lay out, but I imagine I'll spend some time there. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. But the U.S., we do know their matchup. It is against Belgium. I think we were all a little bit surprised last night as it turned out the U.S. slight favorite without Balogun. And I was trying to figure out why, other than the only thing I could figure out, Gold, is the U.S. has looked significantly better, more consistent, and organized in this tournament, only this one, than Belgium has. They're still in the same round and got to the same goal. So it's kind of hard for me to think, well, just because they've looked worse getting there doesn't mean they're worse than the U.S. Belgium should be favored in this match. If you made me bet it, I'd probably guess that they're the winner. But that doesn't mean I don't think the U.S. can win it. I just think they're going to have to, like, Pulisic's going to have to be the chosen one, like he was pitched for U.S. soccer for a number of years. He's going to have to be that dude for the match on Monday.
Even if they had Balogun, it was going to be the toughest match that they faced, hands down, this entire tournament.
Yeah, it is. But, like, at the same time, like, now Pulisic's got to go, like, all world. That's what we at least agree with in this matchup, is that he's going to have to, like, do something special in order to make it look different.
Not that they've really made a ton of mistakes, but you certainly won't get away with them now in this stage of the tournament. You know, that'd be the difference. You can make some mistakes maybe early on in group stage against some of the competition. Belgium's probably going to take advantage of that. And then also, now they're well aware of it, but we all just saw what happened. Belgium was down 2-0 in the 80th minute, and they came all the way back to tie it, and then they won in extra time. So this is not the same situation. No lead is going to be safe if you're fortunate to get a lead against Belgium. They're able to flip the game in a hurry. They did it against Senegal. So yeah, this will be the most stressful one we've watched so far of this tournament. The other ones have been fairly stress-free. There was a little bit of stress last night when it was 1-0 and they were playing down a man.
There was a couple of moments there in like the 65th or 70th minute where you're like, ooh, it's going to be a sweat for a minute. The second they got the second goal, we all got to just relax.
But in group play, it really wasn't a stressful watch. So, and even last night. So this will be a different story on Monday night. And hopefully everybody else is healthy. It looks like they are heading into it for the U.S. But go ahead.
I think it'll be really interesting, too. I don't think it will impact things too much, but the dynamic of Belgium and Senegal, or Belgium going an extra 30 minutes in that match compared to the U.S. being on some fresher legs. I think that I know that Belgium had they had taken De Bruyne out. They had taken some players out. So,
but they've already been dealing with injuries and are older too. And
I don't know the impact too much on that, but I do think. I mean, it's not. I would say it's not nothing, but I don't know how much it is something. I guess we'll find out early on in that match. Where I wonder if just the way that they play stylistically, hopefully they don't do what Ronald Koeman did and just totally shift how you play because you're playing against somebody who's a little bit better. I hope that the strategy doesn't change too much, even though Balogun is out, but it'll be interesting to see what Mauricio Pochettino has drawn up in terms of the aggressiveness early on, if they're trying to push the tempo, if it's going to be a little bit of read and react for the first 15, 20 minutes or so. It makes the little chess match of everything a little bit more interesting. Plus, the last time they played in a knockout stage that was of any real significance was against Belgium 12 years ago.
This is the most easily, because of age or anything, like this is the most interested I've been in a U.S. match for the men's side ever. I mean, they've only played in a couple of this importance. They only have 2 wins in the knockout round period.
Because it feels like they can actually do it.
It's not like a long list. Yeah, that's part of it.
They're not just barely surviving, and they also just won ugly. They also just found a way to win ugly a little bit against Bosnia. They found a different way to win a match, which is promising. And I think we've also all watched the rest of these matches in the World Cup. Clearly, there's a difference when you watch France and when you watch Argentina and a couple of these other top tier countries. But for the most part, we've seen what has happened to Germany, and England was very fortunate to win. I guess what I'm saying is, like, I still think this is pretty wide open. And so U.S. Absolutely can get past Belgium, and then we'll see what happens if you get the matchup against Spain. And by the way, we are about 40 minutes away from the first match of the day. Spain and Austria, then Portugal, Croatia at 6, Switzerland and Algeria at 10 o'clock. You guys think we see an upset or two today?
I think Spain has got to be minus 1,000, aren't they?
Spain will handle their business, I think, but I think Algeria could upset Switzerland tonight.
I think Algeria could get a win. I also think that I think Croatia and Portugal is kind of a toss-up based on the way Portugal's played. I think that'll be maybe the best match of the day. I don't know how Spain's got to be a heavy favorite in this match.
I think
so,
right?
They are. Yeah, they're. I can get you the exact number, but I think it's minus 1,100 or something like that.
You know, like, because you pay attention like sparingly until
minus 1,100 Spain.
Spain hasn't lost a match in their last 33 international matches.
Yeah, they've been incredibly good.
They have 24 wins and 9 draws. They have not lost a match in their last 33. So, like, it is hard for me to imagine the upsets coming today at 2.
Spain has the third best odds to win the entire thing. France is the favorite significantly, plus 175. Argentina, plus 390. And then Spain, 800, so 8-1. England, 8.5-1. And then, if you're wondering, the U.S.'s updated number is 27-1 to win.
What did it start 60, at the beginning of the tournament? 60?
I do think that we're also at the part of the tournament where this can play into the U.S.'s hands, is just being the hunter in a way where you're not. I know that Belgium, they're technically favored, but in terms of the global powers that we're used to, they're the underdog the rest of the way in terms of the the matchups.
Even against Belgium,
of the matchups that they're expected to have. They have essentially nothing to lose from the standpoint of you can go out and not feel like there's any extra stress. Where England was stressed against Congo. Like, you don't lose
you're
that
the
match.
Bosnia,
Germany,
you're the Senegal, the rest of the way against the powerhouses.
You're not necessarily expected to, especially if they get by Belgium, you're not expected to do anything after that. So, I mean, if they can beat Belgium somehow, then everything after that is just gravy, even if they do lose. I mean, being able to make it and say that you're going up against Argentina, I mean, the match itself, just from a viewership standpoint, will be great for the team.
Would Argentina be, like, if...
That's the final, I think.
What would it be if it continued to... Spain would be next?
Spain and then France. Oh. And then, so Yamal, Mbappe, Messi would be the...
If they ended up...
I got to say, guys, I don't think the U.S. is going to win the whole thing.
I don't think don't worry about possibly playing those guys anyway. Like, if you just get there, it'd be amazing.
Goodness.
I would love to see them on the... Like, I told you that they would probably not win, but if the U.S. got to the point where they were playing France, which would mean a semi,
Spain,
and go up against Mbappe, that would just be incredible to see the U.S. on the same pitch as them.
You mean, too? Like, Spain's got a massive soccer superstar. You and I both really like Mbappe, so I get it, but what's that?
I was like, Lamine Yamal.
I mean, he's one of the biggest stars in the sport.
And he's 18.
That's crazy.
That happens every once in a while. He is incredible, though.
He is. If there's like a successor to this dude plays like Messi, he's left-footed, he does everything with his left foot, it's Lamine Yamal.
Yeah.
Plays for Barcelona. I mean, it all fits together.
Must be nice when you're just when you're one of the best programs over there, you just get, it's like being the Yankees or the Dodgers, but if you are
really
one of the 5 programs, have-nots, then you get the 18-year-old with who God touched his left foot. You get him. They don't end up at Crystal Palace. No, they end up at like a real club, you know.
Well, and the players
Crystal Palace catching some strays.
No, Cody. In fairness, though, to Crystal Palace, Everett Eze is now on the England national team. He played at Crystal Palace. Michael Olise came through at Crystal Palace. So, as crazy as it sounds, those teams are not. They're not on there, but they're responsible for developing those to where they go to Bayern and PSG and Arsenal and all the other places.
Yeah. You end up being a developmental league.
Correct.
Now,
100%.
You also, like, their league is set up in a way where if you find Yamal, you find him, then a team pays you hundreds of millions of dollars to fund all the other players to make yourself a good team. It's how you get promoted. It's like you find that talent, you sell that player, then you get promoted. You know, you find a way to, like, have more cash to spend. It's just a weird system, so it's always hard to kind of get used to, at least on that end. I'm excited for it, though. That in the weekend, right? You're heading to the lake?
Yeah, headed down to the Ozarks a little bit later on tonight. Got a couple errands to run after the show, and then going down there and staying there through Monday.
After the break, I want a full rundown of what like a weekend at the lake looks like for you, and I'll tell you, and then I'll tell you what I'm doing. I don't know what Drew's doing.
We'll find out.
Dave and Buster's for the 4th of July. What's more America than that?
I was there last night after the match.
Wait, you went? Hold on, you went there after the peanut?
Yeah.
Wait, for real?
Yeah.
He had to get there. All right, we'll talk about that. What's trending? Final thoughts on the weekend and everything next here on Cody and Gold.
This is Cody and Gold on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan, brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Hey, it's Dusty Likens, and come out to Lee Summit and see me and Bob Fesco at Freedom Family Fireworks. They've got the biggest deals of the season, like buy one, get one free. Free kids packs with qualifying purchases, and free Excalibur shells when you spend $250 or more. Again, we're in Lee Summit off 50 Highway from 12 until 2 today. Come and see us. And if you can't get out to Lee Summit, just know that Freedom Family Fireworks has other locations like Liberty, Pleasant Hill, Cameron, Chillicothe, and that air conditioning superstore at 291 and Highway 210. It's Freedom Family Fireworks.
No! USA is up 2-0. That is the most dangerous lead in soccer.
Relax, Mike.
See that, Dan? My left eye is twitching. That's my warning eye. It'll be 2-2 by stoppage time. It's never wrong.
With early payout from Bet365, I got paid the second they went up 2 goals. So to me, it's now the safest lead.
Early payout from Bet365, huh? Now my right eye is twitching, Dan.
Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Missouri. T's and C's apply. In-app only.
Honey, did you invite the minions over?
Well, you know how we talked about getting Wi-Fi from Xfinity?
Yeah.
I ordered it this morning, was online in minutes, then they showed up.
So they just came over to use the Wi-Fi?
They even brought their own devices and spellbook.
You didn't give them the new Wi-Fi password, right?
No.
That's good.
I gave them our old one. Because Xfinity lets us keep the same network name and password so devices connect instantly.
What do they want Wi-Fi for anyways?
Better not to know. Plausible deniability.
Get streaming or scheming instantly with same-day Wi-Fi from Xfinity. Plus, lock in one price for the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi for 5 years. Guaranteed. And see Minions and Monsters only in theaters. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Use of fiber coaxial cable. Learn more at xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi.
Hey, it's Rex here with Rex Buys KC. I get it. Selling your house can sometimes feel overwhelming or scary, right? I've seen it too many times. A homeowner thought they had a deal, only to have the buyer back out at the last minute. That's not how we do business at Rex Buys KC. I'm local, I know Kansas City, and I make sure every deal actually closes like it's supposed to. No hidden fees, no showings, no last-minute surprises, just a fair cash offer and a process you can count on. We buy homes in any condition and judgment-free. So whether your house needs repairs or you just want a fast, hassle-free sale, we can make it happen. If you want certainty, transparency, and someone local who actually delivers, call 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com. Rex Buys KC, helping people make smart choices one home at a time. 816-330-6000 or rexbuyskc.com.
Hi, I'm Tom Shane, third-generation owner at Shane Company. As a family jeweler for almost 100 years, we're known for doing right by our customers. Our legacy of integrity depends on it. We stand behind our engagement rings with our all-inclusive free lifetime warranty. We handpick the most beautiful diamonds, then negotiate for the best price. At Shane Company, we put you first because a friend always has your back. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
The Royals and the See You in the Major Leagues Foundation are teaming up with Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City to recognize outstanding high school sports coaches through the Blue KC Coaches with Character program. From April to September, we'll recognize 6 coaches as a Blue KC Coach with Character. Each honoree will receive a VIP package that includes tickets to a Royals game and more. Be part of honoring our high school coaches whose service is making Kansas City a better place to live, work, and play. Just go to bluekc.com/nominate Coaches with Character to nominate today.
Skechers elite athlete OG Anunoby has been making history on the basketball court.
Anunoby tips it in. Unbelievable. What a shot.
He's been balling out in Skechers high-performance basketball sneakers, and the world is noticed. But how does OG train off the court to keep in peak physical condition? Hands-free Skechers Slip-ins AeroBurst. They help prepare OG for the physical demands of playing at a championship level. Get your pair of AeroBurst for only $165 at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever high-performance running shoes are sold.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
If you own a small business, the pressure never lets up. Something's always coming at you. That's why business owners turn to LendSeek for funding.
I don't need promises. I need options. LendSeek's AI platform showed me real funding choices. Now I can cover payroll, handle taxes, and go after growth opportunities without the daily stress.
Up to $5 million with funding in as fast as 24 hours. No upfront costs. No prepayment penalties. Start ready, stay ready. LendSeek.com. LendSeek.com.
J. Rieger & Co. Oh, so good. Quality crafted in Kansas City. J. Rieger & Co. Straight Bourbon Whiskey. Winner of Best Craft Bourbon at the 2025 Ascot Awards. At 90 proof, it's rich, well-balanced, and oh, so good. Quality crafted in Kansas City.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
What's trending?
Cheddar, mozzarella, Havarti.
Number one on What's Trending, we've been talking a lot about the World Cup today. We all know the U.S. got a win last night, 2-0 over Bosnia. They get set to play Belgium on Monday night. They will have to do it without Balogun because of the red card. Today, we're, a half hour away from Spain and Austria. We are 4 hours and so away from Portugal and Croatia, and that's at 6. And then Switzerland and Algeria, the late match this evening out in Vancouver, Canada.
Next up on What's Trending, the Royals did lose to the Rays last night for zip. We'll be back in action tonight against Tampa Bay for the final game of a 3-game set against them. And then, of course, they'll start their 4th of July stuff tonight, I believe, as well.
Tonight is a fireworks spectacular and then extravaganza. Saturday's a fireworks spectacular.
Hard to track. Jack Caglione was named Player of the Month. Michael Walker was named Pitcher of the Month for the Royals earlier for the organizational side of things.
Update on the whole Terry and Arnold situation. Former now Lions cornerback. Remember, he is facing very serious charges in regards to armed robbery and kidnapping. And he's on a $1 million bond right now. One of the terms of the bond was when he was with the Lions was going to be, hey, you're allowed to go to practice. You don't have to wear an ankle monitor. He was cut by the Lions. He's a free agent, or I guess he has to clear waivers. He could be a free agent soon. His lawyer informed the court today that he's been contacted by 3 teams and that he expects to join another franchise within the next 30 days. We could be skeptical about that if we want. I certainly will be.
I am.
I don't know why another team would sign him at this point in time. The thought from some legal experts is that this is because the reason why his attorney is going this path, Cody, is because that's how he avoided the ankle monitor, was the fact that they argued it'd be tough to wear an ankle monitor while you're playing for an NFL team. So maybe they're trying to show still that he doesn't have to now wear an ankle monitor, I guess.
I mean, that would add a challenge. to getting the socks and shoes and everything else in uniform code. No doubt about it. You can be fined for the uniform code.
Could you imagine an NFL player on the field? He's got an ankle monitor on. The NFL wouldn't even allow it. Can you imagine the visual other than the actual?
That feels like a
it?
scene from Ballers.
I mean, could you?
Or what
imagine?
was the other one? Playmakers. What was that series where they were all just like awful people? Does anybody remember that series? Playmakers. Is that what it's called?
I remember Ballers. I don't know about Playmakers. I can't remember.
Oh, someone's gonna remember.
I'm just trying to imagine
playing with the ankle monitor on
Sunday night football, and this dude's got an ankle monitor on. That was not going to happen. They were not going to require him to wear one.
They show an instant replay of him breaking up a pass, and you just see the light.
It just blinking. Does it blink? Is it a red light, a green light?
He goes to the tunnel after the touchdown and it starts buzzing. Next up on what's trending, Alexander Ovechkin not retiring. He's actually returning for his 22nd season with the Capitals on a one-year, $4.3 million deal, $1 million of which is base salary, and a $3.25 million signing bonus. He'll get the full amount if he plays at least 10 games, which is not surprising, at least on that end. He can receive an even bigger bonus, taking him up to $9 million if he plays more games after that. So he'll have a chance to earn upwards of $9 or $10 million, but he's not retiring. He's going to return for his 22nd season. He's 40 years old. He's coming back to the NHL.
Okay. That is what's trending. Someone says ankle monitor in football screams accidental amputation.
I just feel like it's running a risk.
It would hinder you to play, for
You imagine
sure.
someone like tackling you by that, like when they get him down with a hair, like this happens to be the thing you grabbed to. Terrible.
Well, I don't know, Jim. He grabbed him by the ankle. He grabbed him. It
looks like the ball's on the ground and he was trying to recover. And another play, the football actually hit off the ankle monitor, took a weird bounce.
Just be ridiculous.
You cannot, if you're the NFL, let's say a team signed him, you have to put him on the commissioner's exempt list. You can't let him play football. You can't let him play football until his, higher from, like kidnapping charges are cleared. Like it's not that crazy. Someone says it was called Playmakers, by the way. It was an ESPN show. They were all like awful people running into terrible situations or taking steroids and murder. They were all like, I think part of why they got rid of it was ESPN was vying for the NFL package, and the NFL did not like that show.
That makes sense.
Because it essentially it was like the underbelly of, and it was all made up teams and all that other stuff. But I think the story is that the NFL didn't like it, and ESPN had aspirations to, at that time, have a TV rights deal with the NFL, which they, of course, do. You guys never saw that show? It's probably like
I did not.
Early
I like Ballers,
2000s.
though. Ballers was good. It lasted for a couple seasons there, and I don't think it ended a while back now. But, yeah.
Speaking of weird things, did you guys see that Tim Hardaway Sr. is not letting Tim Jr. wear number 10? For the Miami Heat because his jersey's in the rafters. He says, my legacy is my legacy.
That's cool.
It's still a Hardaway.
I think that's cool. It's his kid. Yeah.
No. I'm saying he's telling his son's. He said his son's not allowed.
Not allowed. Oh, I thought you said his son is.
No, Tim Hardaway Sr. said, "My legacy's my legacy," and that jersey's staying in the rafters.
The hell, man!
I mean, if your
people
son
are too hung up on a jersey.
He said,
number.
"I love him to death, but nah, he can't wear number 10."
That's weird to me.
And Timmy has worn number 10 all the time because of his dad. I think.
I know you want your son to create his own legacy in the game. I get that, but
he said,
wouldn't that not be pretty cool to have your? Wouldn't that be pretty cool to have your son wear your jersey for the same? To me, wouldn't that be a cool moment?
It would be such an honor.
I do think so. It is crazy too because he said that on a Miami radio station. Like if you want to tell me privately, fine. He would leave in public. He said, "Nah, man, he's not allowed to wear that jersey."
He probably already told him.
But there is that part of it. And look, maybe it's because never gonna be and never was any kind of decent of an athlete. So, but every once in a while, you get these guys who won't give up a jersey who played in the 70s. Nobody knows who you are.
Yeah.
So maybe just give up the jersey, pal. It's not that big a deal. It's just a number. It is not everything. It was your number. You are a team Hall of Famer. But your kid is crazy. Crazy. You and I just signed up for the KC Current Media game. I actually, because my kid's been so into soccer, I just put my regular name on it. Sometimes I put silly stuff on the back of it, but I thought maybe I didn't want the jersey.
Yeah,
has he transitioned from basketball to soccer now because of the World Cup?
No, I mean, he's doing no. He still plays basketball all the time. That is his primary sport. I've asked him if he wants to play soccer. No, he knows about soccer players and has been watching a lot of the matches with me, but he doesn't want to play it yet. He just enjoys consuming the sport.
Yeah, the media game decided to do it again this year. I was like, are we about done with doing them? But they're fun.
I'm not going to be here, unfortunately. I'm going to be
you're out of town.
I'm going to be out of town. But
Drew's in the Outer Banks.
I will be in the Outer Banks claiming
what about
claiming our spot.
Yeah. What about this weekend? What are everybody up to? You asked me. Yeah, I'm going to the lake with some friends.
Give me a breakdown of the lake weekend with Alex.
Yeah, usually it's once a year or so. I got my best friend going back to high school. We're still best friends. His family, they've got his wife's family's got a condo down there. So we always go there for 4th of July. So I'll drive down after the show a little bit later on this evening. And tonight, just hang out, get settled in or whatever, hang out on the deck or whatever, probably have a few drinks. And then tomorrow we'll go out on the water. And they've got pontoon boat and some jet skis. And usually what we'll do, we'll mess around in the cove, but eventually we'll take the pontoon out and we'll find another like cove and anchor down and then just chill in the water and drink and hang out.
Sure.
And then sometimes we'll go out to dinner. Otherwise we'll grill. They have the Blackstone and stuff set up. And so, yeah, man, it's just going to be a nice, relaxing.
Sometimes you'll hit town, but sometimes not.
Be a nice, relaxing weekend. The weather looks good, except Sunday maybe there's some rain, but should be good tomorrow and Saturday.
Should I be bothered that my brother's never invited me to his lake house on the 4th of July weekend? That's like classic lake house behavior.
Does he invite you ever?
Yes.
Well, then you're okay. He's probably got a 4th of July weekend. They might have other people that go down that weekend.
Yeah, but why can't I'm his brother?
But maybe, like, in this case, I'm going with my friend. I'm not family, even though we've known, technically, right? So
tough. I feel like I should catch up. That's like classic lake time. Now, I will be.
It's going to be packed at the Ozarks. The main channel, we've talked about this before.
It's crazy.
Going on the main channel on Saturday, on 4th of July at the Ozarks, you better have a bigger boat or something, because it's just the water's gonna be too rough.
It's choppy and weird. I'm going in August to his, so I'll be out there soon enough. Nice. I'll be up at the last maybe 4th of Julys or something. It's always like some connection. It's not their house, but my daughter's friend and their parents. We're all friends now, obviously, and he grew up on Lake Wacomas, a tiny little lake in the Northland. So we go up there, watch some fireworks. They got a pool in the backyard. We swim.
Hey.
We swim for a bunch of hours. We get and swim more in the lake and hang out, and it's all very low key. I imagine I'll go tomorrow and Saturday would be my guess. And we're out there more than a couple of times. And then last year I played in a disc golf tournament with him as part of the people around the lake do, like who live there. I just get invited onto a random team. So that kind of stuff, just normal, casual activity.
Sounds like Gold's going to come back sunburned as hell. I'm going to try not to. I mean, I'm obviously going to rock the sunscreen. I mean, I'm sure I'm going to get some redness because I'm going to be outside so much and I'm pale. But yeah, I'm going to try getting
every
burnt
2 hours, man.
I'm going to try. Yeah, I'm going to try not to get burnt too much because I'm going to another trip in 2 weeks and I don't want to be already
sunburned before you're out in the sun for a week.
Yeah, so.
Yeah.
People are asking about the mile marker stuff, the Ozarks. I'll be honest, I'm so bad at the mile markers because it's not my place. Camdenton, Missouri. Anybody ever been to Larrywood or the Cave or whatever around? That's the area that we're at.
My brother's is much further north than that. It's near Stover.
Okay.
But I do not remember the mile marker. I don't want to be held reliable for that. Remember, we were going to go to my brother's lake house and we were going to do Cody Gold Day at the Lake.
Yep.
We're going to do Lake Day.
Still could happen one day.
Yeah, Johnny Palumbo says my ass. There ain't no way.
The thought was,
Johnny Palumbo's not letting us do that.
Not as it was originally constructed. I think the part we, there's a bar / hotel down there we were talking to. Remember, we actually had conversations with one of the places down there. You know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
And so that would probably be the way to do it above board, I
was like, Palumbo's not going to let you and I just kick it in my brother's lake house. And we were going to invite anybody who's been a member of the show. So if Rob Collins wanted to come down or McKenzie or Nate Taylor, Briscoe, anybody who's come on the show could come down to Cody Gold Lake Day. And we could hang out and have a good time. But I don't think Palumbo's going to approve it.
Yeah, we'll see.
What if we get everyone to sign a waiver?
I don't know,
Because
man.
then we can tell people to come down to the Cove and hang out with us.
Yeah.
Could be fun, man.
Someone says the Ozark, the lake is water. Yeah, obviously it's lake water. It's not the ocean. You just have to get past the part that recognizes the lake is dirty. You have to get past that, and you can enjoy your day.
I'm pretty much immediately past that the second time.
Well, because people are texting, I'm like, I understand.
I know how lakes work.
It's we all understand. There's an understanding it's dirty. There's an understanding you can't see your hand under the water. There's just an understanding there. We know. Yeah. And then, when you're done with the lake day, you go take a shower after before, that's what you do. Yeah.
Yeah. We think we all accept it. Drew?
What do you think?
Dave and Buster's last night? What are you doing? What are you saying?
Oh, I said this texter. I was like, you guys know someone said, have you jumped off the giant cliff down at the Ozarks? What do you think the answer is?
I haven't, but I would. Sure. I don't know where that is, but why not?
I don't know.
I usually do backflips off the side of the boat.
Okay. Wow. Did not expect.
I like to do that kind of stuff.
You're doing backflips still.
Yeah. I like to remind myself once a year I still got it,
Oh,
you
boy.
can still.
That just seems like a terrible idea.
That means the one time that you realize you don't got it, you're so depressing.
Yeah.
when I snap my leg or something, Drew.
Jeez. Yeah, you're going to hit the side of the boat.
My kids like it. They're like, do a flip. You're like, all right, sure.
Oh, no.
I'm not going to hit the side of the boat.
Drew, we were joking before the break. Obviously, you said you would. Cody joked about Dave and Buster's. You went there last night.
I did.
Are you guys doing anything cool? Fireworks, anything?
Fireworks on the 4th. Tomorrow, I'm going golfing at Lionsgate.
Ooh, nice. Believe it or not,
got the plug for
that's a good hookup.
How'd you end up out there?
Our guy Derek here at the building.
Nice. Okay.
So I'm very excited about that. Going to play
with him.
Yep.
Nice.
And then a couple other people tomorrow, and then we're going to go to see the fireworks on the 4th, and I'm sure Dave and Buster's will be a thing on Sunday. You got to go on the half days off, on the half price games, Sundays and Wednesdays.
Oh, it's both days. Okay. Uh-huh. No, the golf that's a nice course though. That'll be fun. That'll be good. Man.
Yeah, I'm very excited for that.
Nice. Up. Yeah, I mean, 4th of July is just a fun weekend. The vibes are good right now with the World Cup too, kind of coinciding with everything. Obviously, it's the 250 celebration going on. The Royals have some crazy fireworks stuff planned, not just tonight, but also on Saturday. So if you're staying in town, I know a lot of people will try to
say it was the extravaganza and the spectacular.
Yeah, and then the bobblehead, I will say, I know the team is very, very disappointing, but the bobblehead on Saturday is actually one that people have texted me the most about. My friends are like, hey, can you get a bobblehead? The red, white, and Bobby bobblehead or whatever.
You're not going to be in town. You can't get it for him.
I know there's ways, but maybe we need a couple for the garage sale next year. This seems like a very popular bobblehead. Be a good one.
I picked up new garage sale stuff just today. A friend who's moving brought me all kinds of random stuff. I showed you that old MLS ball. There was a couple of other bobblehead giveaways, and I showed you I was saying one of my complaints about the card game, Alex, is so cards are getting so serious and people get them graded by the PSA. But a couple of the cards that were in this thing are the ones that used to have the etched in name in it. So it's blue background says George Brett in the hard
case. The case, yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I missed that. Drew, they should bring that back. They should bring back the over flourished card cases. PSA should offer me a artisan version.
Well, you can get custom cases. There's fancier cases.
From PSA?
People not from PSA. No.
Oh, that's what I meant.
No.
I want the fancy PSA case.
Well, they want to for when your card gets graded, you want it to be a standardized label, right? You want a standardized.
I'm taking some of the fun out of it. So if I
don't
wanted
get it
to
graded, you can go buy a custom case.
If I wanted to get my card that's signed by Jack Caglione graded, how long would it take me to get it back?
PSA is a disaster right now. So
a year?
It stopped. So yeah,
it stopped? I can't even turn it in?
They paused service for a bit. Now, if you go to the National Card Show in Chicago at the end of this month,
for one card.
You can get it graded the next day.
Take the 8-hour drive to Chicago, Cody.
I've done that with you joke, but my buddy and I a couple years ago did that.
There you go.
But no, the PSA, it honestly could take you a year, 8 months to a year to get your card now.
It's year?
Crazy. It was taking me 3 months, 6 months ago. And it's gotten worse. They're so backlogged, and there's a whole longer conversation about grading and whether it's necessary or not and stuff. So
feels intense.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just looking inside of it. Sounds like you got the lightest of the weekends, Drew. My thing is I've got to be willing to let my kids swim for 4 straight hours.
I think it's different.
It's just exhausting.
It's different too, though, because for you guys, you guys have family here.
For sure.
I don't have any family here.
You want to come to the lake with me? You come to the pool?
What time?
What Comas? I don't know. It'll be sometime the next 2 days, all day.
Well, tomorrow I can't.
Well, but Friday, I imagine
you should do this. Give us some good show content.
Saturday,
I need to hear back when I come back.
It'll probably be all day, Drew.
But yeah, I guess that's the reason
why come up, or she got to work.
Why mine's a little bit more chill and relaxed, just because if I was by my brother and sister, if I was in Florida with my brother and sister, the weekend would be super busy, just from a variety of different things that we'd be doing.
Yeah, you can come hang out. I won't do any father-son stuff. You can just come hang out at the pool, just like a regular person. This isn't a father-son moment. This is just an offer. Is Bree's restaurant open on 4th of July, or are they closed?
They're open. I don't know what.
Does she have to work it?
I'm not exactly. I know that not at night because we're going to see the fireworks, but I don't know exactly what the rest of the schedule is, for sure.
Okay. Man, they're open on 4th.
Is it supposed to? It's not supposed to. The weather's supposed to be
Sunday.
Good,
Gonna rain, I think.
Saturday's supposed to be fine.
Yeah, the next 2 days, hot, normal early July weather.
Which if you buy a pool or in a lake, not bad.
I think there's a chance Sunday and Monday, at least down at the Ozarks. I don't know if it's the same forecast up here. It's not usually that drastic, but it can change. 2.5 hours, 3 hours away, depending on where in the Ozarks you're at. So
you got to hit the liquor store still?
I do. I need to make a run.
You got to make a run.
I do need to make a run on the drive before the drive down there, so we have him at the.
I saw Drew drinking an Angry Orchard yesterday. Classic.
That's his thing.
That's his drink.
You know? No, I got some errands to run. I got to do that, and I get the dog. Obviously, I got to drop off my parents' house, so she stays over there for a couple days, and I just got to get a few things packed up real quick. And yeah, I'm hoping. I think we'll be on the road by 5:30 ish. hopefully get to the Ozarks by 8:30, 8 o'clock.
Someone says I couldn't type it fast enough. I was going to say something about the Father's Head stuff. I'm like, no, it's just Drew doesn't have a place necessarily to go for 4th of July that's in some water. He could come sit in a pool. I will say the only thing is like I want to buy. I've been to their house a number of times because they invite us over during the summer quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
I want to buy one of those like basketball hoops or something. I like to play like a volleyball game or like a basketball or something. I like to occasionally an activity. I will say you'd mentioned the cliff thing. They have an overhang on their roof. That's like a big thing at the pool is that somebody jumps off the extension of the roof into the pool, which I've done at their house. It's like I think you have to be a certain age. I'm not letting my kids leap off.
Well, the story yesterday, the 8-year-old on the jet ski.
Yeah.
He would jump off the roof. That's what would happen.
Someone says, what is Gold drink? Zima? No, Surfside at the lake will be the drink of choice this week.
They still sell Zima?
I don't know. Maybe I think they brought it back.
I don't know what that is.
No,
That's a really dated. By the way, I know how old you